Welcome to the Wright On Sports Show. There are many sports shows out there, but this one is Wright On. Four guys giving each other hell about sports and their sometimes questionable choice of teams. Featuring the head of the table, Kyle Wright, the king of shit takes, Marcus Weisner, the show's resident asshole, Nick Gurley, and finally, doing all the dirty work, the show bitch himself, Drew Gorman. How these guys all get along, we may never know, but let's try to find out. Let's get started.
What a totally, I'm good. You guys can hear me, right? We're good?
Yeah.
I can't hear myself, so it's, you know how that tricks you out a little bit. Welcome to the Wright On Sports. See? It's messing with everybody.
I'm hearing you guys.
Everybody's good? Everybody? Good. All right, you guys look good. You sound good. Welcome to the Wright On Sports Show. I'm Kyle Wright. We have a extensive panel here today because this is the Goat of Goats finale. This is something that we've been working on for a very long time. That sounds way better, by the way.
Yeah.
Kyle Wright, Nick Gurley. Nick, we had a heck of a weekend. We took the boys out over to Rocket Lanes, Buffalo Wild Wings. Got in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
Whoa, trouble.
Wasn't like too bad. Dude, not too much trouble. Now, I can say this, that, Rocket Lanes remembers us.
Well, don't you want to
that.
leave a lasting impression and be a memorable person? That's why
Exactly.
we're talking about ghosts today, because they're memorable.
Exactly.
Let's say that Rocket Lanes will never forget us. And Buffalo Wild Wings will never allow us back.
Rocket Lanes they'll never forget us, and Buffalo Wild Wings will never accept us.
Yeah, exactly. I like it.
Wow.
You heard the voice, you see the face, Mr. David Hayes from the Afternoon Underdogs.
What's going on, gang?
ESPN.
Glad to be here, man.
Glad to have you back. This is the first time in a long time, right?
First time in a long time, yeah. Going, with the whole move and everything, being a little bit further up 231 and everything, the paths haven't crossed the right way, but the stars are going to start aligning more, and I'm so excited to be here for the Go to Goats finale, man. We've been working on this for how long? You guys did such a great job setting it up. So excited to be here. I already broke my first rule. Was so excited to get on here and say, fuck, it's finally here.
He almost did. Never mind.
No, you can say it. We're on Facebook. We're not on the air no more. FCC won't let me be.
This man almost dropped fuck on the radio today.
It was fun. How about that?
It was
fun.
It was extremely fun.
It came about a millisecond away from the C coming out. And I rewatched it earlier, and I was like, okay, we're good, but that was way too close for comfort.
I think we honestly, I don't think anybody would have noticed at all had it not been for Kyle Wright's overreaction, where he almost went through the wall.
He looked like Home Alone putting the
it was
cologne
like when,
on.
It was like when Wile E. Coyote goes through the wall and there's like an imprint. Like it would have been Kyle Wright, his ginormous imprint in the back of the wall through the ESPN banner.
I can say this, and we've had some of that happen before where you really couldn't tell something, but yet somebody who was on the mics made it an issue.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you really couldn't hear it.
Yeah.
There was nobody would have said anything outside of you going, "Oh, did you just hear that?"
Yeah, it would have.
And you're just no. Nobody heard it.
Right.
But now they're going to listen in really nice and close and try to hear it. But, Kyle's big thing. Yeah, he's big about doing some stupid shit.
Well, it was shock. It was shock value.
About doing
Yeah.
some stupid shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It wasn't that he almost said it that got me. It was the way he reeled himself back in because he hits the well. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
That happened.
But
maybe I won't be here on Monday.
But he saved it with the fun ship, right?
Yeah, he
With
did.
the fun
We're
ship.
sinking on the fun ship. Mr. AG Adam Goff, the co-host of the Seeing Reds podcast with me, and Nerd Culture Undisputed.
You mean the toilet bowls, right?
Yes, the toilet bowls.
seats. The toilet seats.
The logo.
The logo. I was like, holy.
I'll never unsee that.
God. What in the world?
Right.
It's perfect. Hold up the banner, Nick. Hold up the banner. Show them who our last win was against.
That's right. The old champs.
Let's go.
Now this is my first time on the sports show with you guys, so
Yeah,
I'm
that's
excited
right.
to be here, and can't wait to get into the Go to
You
Goats. It's been
already sound smarter than Drew.
thank you.
Well,
it's been
I miss my man Drew.
it's been a fun 2.5 months going through all of this. I wish I had been there when you guys were brainstorming this whole idea, just because, just like a fly in the wall kind of deal.
Yeah.
Because I can imagine how much fun that was, just delving through how many people, and these athletes that you all had to sort through. So it's exciting that we're here at the climax, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? It is funny how a lot of it worked, because it was after a show and we had just like talked about it like in between, right before the show, and then we were just, I think I actually like said it that we were going to do the GOAT of GOATs, and it was because we had talked about it. We never really said anything in stone, and I just put it on the air because I know Kyle likes to like kind of tiptoe around shit. Yeah. So I'm like, I just said it on air, and he was like, well, I guess we're doing that. And like then we sat there and did like 76 names or something.
We got 72, but we left a lot of names off.
Yeah, we left a ton of names off.
So that's the first question I want to ask, actually. That's a good segue into this. Who didn't make the bracket that you guys would have liked to see get a spot on it? And anybody can start.
First of all, when you say that, when you ask that question, you put it on Facebook, maybe people should start reading the actual question.
Read the damn question. Yeah, I agree.
Jack.
I saw Kobe on there. I'm like, yeah, Kobe
Brady.
was on there.
Right.
Brady was on there. I was like,
where y'all
yep,
been?
Brady was on there too. And Brady lost to one of the GOATs. I mean, that's the only reason why.
Brady lost to Tiger, right?
Yeah, so he lost to who's obviously in the finale, which I disagree on. I just think that
we're gonna get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Sure.
But I mean, especially whatever the guy's name was, kind of calling me out, saying I've never played hockey and stuff like that. Like you've ever played professional basketball.
If I can speak to that before I want to give, because that actually, doing the show, Wild Will is he was a listener of the show,
that who that was?
supporter of the show.
Oh, okay.
But I want to answer
I
that though, because how many of us have played to any level of any sport that gives us any right to talk about how the sport
professionals
goes? Exactly. These guys are professionals and they do their damn job and they do it well.
Right.
All of them do, even
Right.
from the lowest of the lows to the highest of the highs. But having an opinion is having an opinion, and if you like sports and if you can digest the stats, then that's all that matters. If I'm sitting here looking at Wayne Gretzky and Gordie Howe, and Gordie Howe wasn't even on the list, and don't get me wrong, he's got a great point that Gordie Howe should have been on the list, sure, but let's be honest about the even if I was in the room with you guys, being a big hockey fan, Gordie Howe was not going to make it on the list because we just weren't around. The dude stopped playing in 1980. At that time, he was like 30-something seasons in, still playing with his sons.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, there's GOAT status there, but for us, especially a statistic-driven contest, if you will, we're going to go after the numbers because that's the easiest for us to take in, to digest.
Especially to live in an era that we didn't live in.
Right.
To actually sit back and talk about an era that we weren't a part of.
And we had a lot of those guys already in here. I mean, we had the Dr. J's, the Kareems, guys that we didn't get to watch.
Exactly.
But we hear those names every day. There's a reason that those guys got in. We hear those names. We see those highlights. When have you ever seen a Gordie Howe highlight? I didn't know who he was.
I didn't know who he was until David said something, and I was like, "Oh."
He does have a hat trick named after himself, where you score a hat trick, you get an assist, and you score a goal, an assist, and a fight all in the same game, and that's a Howe hat trick, a Gordie Howe hat trick. He is Mr. Hockey. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of facts for why he should have been on the list, especially when we take some of the other guys, But at the end of the day, my problem is not that he wasn't on the list. My problem is that someone's like, "You've never played hockey." Like, how many games did you play, Wild Will?
And that was real. That was my question. Even and I responded back on it like a few hours later because I have a job and I couldn't just respond immediately. But I looked at it, and the first thing I said was, this is coming from somebody who most likely voted for Michael Jordan, the one guy that probably won't even be the GOAT of his sport by the time LeBron retires. I mean, honestly, he doesn't
debatable.
Yeah, well, he doesn't own any stat. Nothing. He's not number one in any stat outside of championships, and I don't even think he's number one in championships, right?
Bill Russell's got it.
Yeah. So I mean, we're talking about somebody who doesn't own any stat. At least you can go on every single person in the Final Four. They all own a stat. I keep saying LeBron James because LeBron James is better. Even though I don't really think that at this point. I'm just like you're on my page.
You should have heard me earlier. We did a GOATs of each era on the Afternoon Underdog show, and we did the GOAT of the '90s. And I said, well, Jordan wouldn't have a championship without him, so Scottie Pippen.
Exactly. And you know what?
And then he walked it back.
Yeah. It is funny because when people start saying that, like, why are we even doing this? Michael Jordan is the GOAT of GOATs. I mean, it's like Because is he? You have to put him up against every single person. Does Michael Jordan beat
and
Tiger Woods?
Well, and that's the beauty of this entire competition
Exactly.
because it's completely subjective.
Yep.
So it's how did this person, how did their success resonate with you? What did their success mean to, for a lot of us, it's your childhood. I mean, I'm 40 years old. I'll be 41 next month. So
you like Michael Jordan?
There's a lot of these guys that, you grew up watching and yeah, they made you feel something, not just for their team, but that entire sport.
Right.
Right. And like, that's the beauty of, Tiger Woods, and we'll delve into that more later, but, like what he did for the entire game of golf. So there's so many different facets, and that's why this entire competition is so fascinating. And, for me, one guy that was left off of here because, I grew up playing tennis, and I liked playing tennis. I watched a lot of tennis. One of me.
Shut up, bitch!
Well, you know what? But you know what? One of my best friends, still plays tennis to this day, and Pete Sampras was.
I've never heard that name.
Was a GOAT, man.
I haven't either.
What he did in the 80s and 90s, he played against Agassi, who's on our list, right? He owned Agassi. Absolutely owned Agassi.
That was a name. Agassi was a name that I disagreed with.
But he owned,
Not that he wasn't
pretty
good,
much
but-
every
He ended
major
up coming
record.
off. Agassi
Oh,
did.
that's right. That's
He
right.
ended up he pretty much owned every major's record until, Novak and all those guys came along. So, Federer, for example. But Pete Sampras was absolutely dominant in this sport of tennis.
If I can say something on behalf of the people who put this together, it's hard to take tennis and you know what I mean? Like, you guys left, I'm sure that they left names off just to have some of the individual athletes that others didn't quite know about, And so I'm right there with you, because as a kid growing up getting the Sports Illustrated for kids and stuff like that, he was on quite a few of the covers. You know what I mean? Pete Sampras was. So I get that, but I've got to give kudos to you guys, because that's something that all of us in the Wright Sports group doesn't really understand, in my opinion. I challenge you almost, in a sense, and I know I almost sound like Kyle Wright here, but I challenge you guys to put together a list of 72, figure out how it's going to fall, and then, to understand how it's really going to fall, you kind of have to have a run through, right? Because until you start seeing how those brackets go, you're never going to guess, oh my gosh, we're about to pit Brady up against Tiger Woods in this, what was it,
second
Sweet
round.
16?
Yeah, like third round, something like that.
You
It's
know what I
like,
mean?
Oh, no,
and it's like,
man.
that's what, and I get it, because we did this. I don't even want to say we. I was afforded the opportunity to be a part of something that was strictly because we're in the off season, and let's provide something fun for people to be a part of, not just hear and find out what we think, but no, you have a say in this. You know what I mean? And so I get it. One name for me, though, because that's the original question, Dale Earnhart Sr. Being off of that. You know what I mean?
a big one.
That one being off. Outside of that, it's just so tough, because I sympathize with you guys more than anything else. Like, we're talking about 72 people. How do you make that happen and make everyone happy?
And we still ended up having we had a couple triple threats.
We had a couple of changes.
And we still left off guys. Like, I'm gonna tell you right now, we got too deep into it before I was like, holy shit, we left off Magic Johnson and Larry Bird.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And those are,
But when you
legends.
go down the list,
they revitalized basketball.
yeah, when you go down the list, though, and I would challenge everyone else out there, when you go down our list, I know you put pictures of the bracket out now. So when you go down that list, who do you take off? In place of the guys that we've already mentioned, who do you take off?
But be
We're
realistic.
going to cover it later, but I can tell you right now if you want me to.
the
Go ahead.
wrestlers.
Yes.
Yeah, but see, I disagree.
Okay,
there.
I disagree as well. Yeah.
And me not being a big wrestling fan,
Me either.
that's still a fan base out there that
We
has
can
to
jump
be
into
covered.
that, by the way. We can jump
Yeah,
into
let's
that.
just jump
We'll
into
skip
it,
that.
because
We'll
I'm
come
not a
back
big
to the second
wrestling fan
question.
myself at all. Like, I don't sit there and watch, Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, none of that stuff. But at the same time, they were huge to their generation of people that watched them. You know what I mean? So they are a GOAT. And if we're going to put people like, and no offense at all, but like Simone Biles, right? Great gymnast. What the fuck do we know about gymnasiums shit? You know what I'm saying?
My wife was a gymnast.
Okay,
So,
so,
like,
hey, no.
the first
No.
name I said was Simone Biles,
Okay,
because I
and
knew
that's
that
great because
nobody
she is
else
the
was going to
GOAT.
say it. So, because I mean, she is
Right.
the goat of gymnastics.
No, and there's
Yeah,
no
you know.
doubt about it.
Yeah.
There's no
But
doubt.
you're right.
That's what
I
I'm saying,
knew.
no disrespect.
Carrie
No,
Strug was
and-
better.
No, nobody was better. But I knew that she was never going to make it out of the first round.
Yeah, right.
Because
But
one,
she
nobody knew
deserved-
enough about her.
But she deserved to have her name on the list.
Exactly. And then again, obviously the group that we post this in is very baseball heavy.
Yeah.
Even though no baseball players made it to the end, I noticed.
And-
like, unless you want to consider
a
Michael
hard-
Jordan.
Well, and speaking of
I'll take it.
speaking of
Hey,
baseball
two-way
players,
sport, baby.
Speaking of baseball players, somebody on Facebook brought it up today.
Miguel Cabrera. would've
Miggy
been
not
nice
being
to put
on that
this
list
I
is
think
a big one.
He's another player that stayed too long after his prime. That has ruined. I'm not going to say ruined because obviously he's one of the best to ever do it.
Tainted?
hit
but it's
3K.
tainted him a little bit.
Yeah.
Because right now, I mean, the last what? I mean, hell, I really don't remember the last time he was good.
We're gonna sit here for the next 3 or 4 days and try to watch him get one hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, go back to what P. Rose did, right? I mean, getting the hit title. I mean, it took him 3 games, I think, before he finally did it. My dad followed him around until he got it and was there that day. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was
That's
pretty.
cool as
It was
hell.
pretty
That's
fucking
really cool. Yeah, that's really cool.
But yeah, so I mean, Miggy was a big one. Triple Crown winner.
Go ahead. So
Those are those Tylers.
So yeah, they were.
And
He-
what
he
a
ain't coming
plug
back for
on
a
the
while.
show, right? A live plug on the show for Sarah Lee right here.
Right? For Bimbo, baby. Hey, no. So to go back to the wrestlers, though, I want to know why. Like, I know you didn't have the opportunity to get on here and defend that that week. Actually, we didn't have anybody that was anti-wrestling on the show. So I want to hear the other side
I'm
of.
not anti-wrestle, right? I mean, it has its place. It has its purpose. I mean, I grew up, with Junkyard Dog and all those other guys in the WWF. But, once I became a certain age where, and again, I'm not putting anybody down that loves wrestling.
He's ageist.
To each their own. But, I mean, to each their own, right? But at the same time, when you have predetermined outcomes, like, I can't take you seriously as an athlete. Now, what Brock Lesnar did outside of the ring in the wrestling world, great. If you want to talk about The Rock's football acumen and his career at as a Hurricane, sure, fine, go for it. But as a wrestler, great entertainers. I'm sure they're great athletes, but I don't feel like they deserve to be in this conversation.
If I can speak to that real quick, because I'll be brief, and I know that you have the in-depth answer to that. Those guys don't get to that level without selling their ass off, meaning that they have to put asses in the seats, and they have to I get that it's a pre-outcome, a predetermined outcome. I get that, but it's still one of those things that you have to be so good at to be able to make it happen, and so therefore you take a generation on a ride. Like, for instance, The Undertaker just put into the WWE Hall of Fame, and without that guy, without some of the other guys, you have a whole branch of fanatics out there that might not even have any type of love for sports at all because a guy like The Undertaker was. So I get where you're coming from, but there's not just anybody gets to be told, like, you're going to win this match. Like, no, it doesn't necessarily work like that.
So I got 2 things. One, the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life, and I didn't even do it. I'm just going to throw that out there. We went to Nashville, right outside of Nashville, and did a wrestling event. And I was told I had to go into the ring and actually talk to a shit ton of people. Scared the shit out of me. I don't get scared at all.
But it gets tied.
Yeah. I never said one word in that mic. Froze up like crazy. Never even grabbed it. I was like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
Walked out of that thing. Because one, not only are they very, very good at what they do, they're very athletic, but you also have to pick something. You have to be, the heel or the face. So good or bad. Heel being bad, face being good. And then you have to play through it at all times. At all times. It's like, when like an actor, Daniel, what is his name? Harry Potter.
Daniel Radcliffe.
You'll never see him as anything else outside of Harry Potter. I mean, he's in other movies, sure. But
when you see him in a movie, you're gonna be like, "Oh, look, it's Harry Potter."
Yeah, exactly. when I say Harry Potter, everybody's like, "Oh yeah, Daniel Radcliffe."
I like that take because I think the only person that's really been able to defy that odd is Harrison Ford.
Yeah,
and that's
sure.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
I mean, but
Oh yes,
but,
yeah, I'm like, I'm over
but I'm
here
just
looking
saying,
like, is that an athlete?
that's an excellent take. I like that because I'm trying to think of the list here.
But again, I go back to it's entertainment. I don't necessarily
Sure, but
consider
isn't
it a
everything
sport?
So what defines a sport? Competition?
There's athleticism that's
Okay, check.
involved in a competition.
Check.
That there is an outcome that we don't know what's happening, that anything could possibly happen, and they're trying to achieve a goal. Now, I understand that these entertainers are trying to achieve a goal and get to the top of their craft, and I understand the hard work and the dedication and the blood, sweat, and tears that they put into it, and I get all that, and I respect the hell out of it. But I don't feel like they deserve to be in a competition of goat of goats when it comes to athletes when we're dealing with sports.
So here's my defense on it.
Yeah.
And because excellent points made all across the table, even by you, because I'm a big wrestling guy. I'm the
I know
only
you
one
are.
here that watches this. I watch every pay-per-view. It's a big thing, but everybody kind of grew up watching wrestling at some point.
Yep.
And if you didn't, you missed a major part of your childhood. I think we can all agree on that.
Oh, my dad would lay down on the floor, and I'd try to drop the people's elbow on him at every second.
So I wasn't putting guys like John Cena in here. I wasn't putting guys like Randy Orton. I put Brock Lesnar in because of his outside of WWE stuff. Like, if it would have been just WWE, I would not have put Brock Lesnar in this. I put Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan in here. And the reasons I did it are because, dude, you want to talk about scale or impact on the world? Mm-hmm. Dude, everybody knows who Ric Flair is. You ever heard the name, like the phrase, "You look like a slick Rick"? That is literally Ric Flair.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows Hulk Hogan. Everybody in the world. Somebody who's never watched a second of wrestling can tell you.
They watched, didn't they?
Yeah, brother. Anybody who's never watched a sliver, a half a second of wrestling, who's never even passed it on their channel, flipping through it, they can tell you who Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair are.
Yep.
That's why they got in this bracket. That's why we put them in it.
And we talk about people who bring eyes to sports or entertainment.
Yeah.
Those two legitimately revitalized amongst some other guys. Obviously there's been different times where you say you didn't put John Cena in here, but John
Very
Cena
well
did
could've.
the exact same thing.
Very well
I mean,
could've.
it was just during a different time
He
frame.
took the torch over from The Rock, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, I mean, honestly, Stone Cold did the exact same thing as well through when Undertaker wasn't who we know who he is now.
Yeah.
I mean, Kane wasn't even there yet. Mankind wasn't even there. Like, all of these Hall of Famers weren't there, and Stone Cold kind of carried the torch for several years, like the 95 through like the 02
It was
range.
him and Goldberg at that time, right?
Goldberg
Was that
came
the
a
deal?
little later.
It was WWE, but he was with WCW there at
Right,
that time.
yeah,
and that's-
and then Goldberg was with W.
That's when I kind of trailed
Sting was
off
another one.
is
Yeah,
after
Sting was
WWE.
another one that was
Sting's
huge.
that was my favorite rapper.
He was my favorite.
rapper.
I'm over here looking at. I'm
I
looking
thought you
at.
knew something I didn't know. I was
Yeah.
like, did he rap too?
I'm about to pull it up right now. I'm sure there's no trademark on
I'm
that.
gonna say, Sting the rapper.
What are you looking at?
Well, now
the
I'm
definition
just,
of sport.
Yeah, the
Okay.
definition of
All right,
sport,
let's
man.
hear it.
If I could give you guys what Noah thinks a sport is, Noah Webster, an individual exhibiting a sudden deviation from type beyond the normal limits of individual variation, usually as a result of mutation, especially of somatic tissue. So.
I don't
That's
know.
more
if
of
that's
like
the one we're-
athleticism.
I was going to
or-
say, I don't think that's the one we're looking for.
No, it's
that
not.
seems a
But
little off.
basically, if you move your body in a different way than what normal people move
It's a
their
sport.
body, you're doing a sport.
Sport. Good, because that's me getting out of bed every day. I played
No,
sports
everybody,
today.
You
everybody
goddamn
gets
athlete,
out
Kyle.
of bed.
You damn athlete, Kyle. Look at you go.
This is the peak athletic male form, by the way. I don't know if
Right.
you guys know, but this is where you want to be in life.
He puts
Well, if
his
you could be
pants
as
on
good of a
both
rapper
legs
as
at the
Sting
same
is, then let
time.
me know.
All right, so I want to go back to the question we skipped here. Eliminated way too early, because I know we got a guy that got knocked out in the play-in matchup. And obviously it was a tough one. It was a lot of these were a lot tougher than others. We had Ali against Phelps in a play-in matchup.
Oh,
It may have
my
been the very
God.
first matchup we did. We were absolutely sick about Phelps getting knocked out right there.
Phelps, to me, should have been in ours. We had Phelps in the Final Four.
I think we had him
Oh,
in
no,
the
Elite Eight. It was the Elite Eight.
dropping
And
the Bolt.
And then, yep, exactly. And we had Bolt in the Final Four.
Yep.
Obviously, the way that we did the votes here, nobody took Olympics into this at all. Whatsoever. Even though you're going against the best talent in the
Not
entire
nearly as popular
world.
though across the globe. I mean, across the country. In the globe, it is, but Olympic athletes, Olympic sports aren't necessarily as popular as the
Sure, yeah, we
mainstream.
love our baseball and football.
And
Basketball. Yeah,
right,
yeah. I mean, I get it, but
Yeah.
when you're talking about goat of goats, and then we're gonna sit here and get called out by people like not playing hockey and shit like that. So it's
Right.
it's funny how all of that.
I have
all of
swam
that
before,
works.
though.
Yeah, I went for a swim one day. Can I vote for Michael Phelps? Huh?
Like, that'll
Can
be
I?
okay.
Can I? Okay.
Wildwood
I've
just
ran
texted me. He
kind
said
of
it's all right.
fast. I ran kind of fast. Can I vote for Bolt? But yeah, I think I think Bolt got eliminated too early, even though he made it to like the Elite Eight.
He made it to the Elite. I think he got dropped by Tiger, right?
Yeah, and I think Simone Biles got eliminated entirely way too early.
They said that we hate baseball, but she got knocked out by Hank Aaron, who, outside of the home run thing, really wasn't known for much in baseball.
And I'm a Braves fan.
Culturally, he was big.
Well, culturally, absolutely.
Right.
But he was
But-
also a 5-tool player.
Yeah.
He was good. I'm not saying that. I mean, I'm a Braves fan, and but I think it's also we all suffer from the generational thing. He
Yes.
was way far out of our generation.
100%.
It's not really
100%.
like that big of a deal, and all of that. I mean, it was a huge deal, but it's not to us as much. You
Right.
know?
Yeah, fair.
Ours is more of like. I mean, I know you're a Braves fan, so it's like, I mean, who's your Brave? Chipper Jones. Like, or
Well, for me, but you're right though, because it's Andrew for me. Which
Yeah,
is
see, but
crazy
it's the
because you
same
know me,
genre.
I'm an infield.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, what
You
I'm
look like
saying?
a David
So
Justice
that's-
guy.
What's funny is I'm an
I actually have
outfielder.
the David Justice jersey.
I'm an
too.
outfielder,
Yeah.
and mine was always Rafael Furcal. And he,
Dude, I love
Rafi.
Rafi. Oh my gosh,
Yep.
him and oh yeah.
When did
yeah.
this turn into the Braves network?
I know.
Want to talk about the Reds?
I'm
Right.
trying to get David to do a Braves podcast with me.
He
just
my
can't
guys.
do it. I know.
No, it's not that. It's just Sam does a good one, in the Braves Dugout podcast, and I have him on the show, and it's like really. We'll talk about that.
I'm trying. What's funny is once you kind of gave me the lowdown, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because you never responded to me on that, and so I had to ask Kyle, like, is Nick mad at me, man?
Oh,
What's
no.
going on?
If I had
I-
$1 for every time Nick has not responded to a text I've sent, we would not be in this fucking shed.
dude,
He's busy. He gets busy.
I'm sorry. Throughout the day, like I'll look. See, the problem
You're
is
making that
I got
dough,
this
right?
stupid watch. I got this stupid watch, and I
pretty
look
smart to
at
me.
it. I'll look at it, and look now. I was trying to pick up what I'm saying. My God! But I'll look at it, and I'll see the text, and I'm like, okay, I'll talk to him later. Not knowing that when I do that, it shows that it's been read,
Yeah.
and
On
it's
the phone.
already on my phone. So I'm like, I don't even think about it. I pull up my phone, and I'm not even worrying about who texted me or called me or
First
whatever.
world
And
problems, brother.
I know,
First
for
world
real.
I'm
problems.
not the type of person who's gonna get, I'm not gonna get butt hurt. Like
Right,
that. I
right,
didn't get a text
yeah.
back. Like it's
But
all right.
he was like,
I don't want to
yo.
get into your parents that bad.
Did I
Yeah, yeah.
25%, bro.
He was. Oh my god! So I gotta go. We gotta tell the story from Saturday
About
before
your
we
beard?
move on.
Oh,
Well, yeah. So Saturday we're bowling. We're at Rocket Lanes.
Is that hair
and
gel?
Yeah. So we start telling the people bowling next to us that we're a gay couple. And we're
because they were like talking to us, and we were like, she starts talking to me and Kyle. Both of us are obviously married, so I was like, "Oh no, I'm here with my spouse," and she was like looking around, and we're with like 5 dudes, and I'm like, she's like, "Oh,
Was Jesse
oh,
even
yeah.
there with you?
No, it was just us 5 dudes." Yeah, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm here," and I pointed at Kyle because I knew Kyle was going to be the only person that would really like. All right, I'm down.
Yeah.
That everybody else would have been like, no, we're not. No, we're not. Nope, I'm not part of this. But Kyle was like, yeah, baby, what's up? I mean, so the whole night we spend trying to not convince them, but just like they keep asking us questions, and we've been together like as friends for so long now that they're asking us questions that they really can't get past us.
Yeah, because
So
y'all both
we
know
both
the
know each
answers.
other. Yeah, we both
Exactly.
know like the and so like she's falling right into it. And the only reason it did not go through is because Kyle had worked with this lady's daughter. And,
And
the
she
the
walked
daughter
in.
walks in. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Oh,
I
hey
did-
Kyle, how's
had no-
Rachel?
Yeah,
had no idea. She looks at her mom and goes, "He's not gay."
So you had everybody in the bowling alley convinced that Kyle was a bottom.
100%, 100.
Big old
I was-
bottom boy.
I'm telling you right now, I was playing the bottom. I was doing it. I was
He
playing
would like
my
touch
role.
me, and I'm like, "Not now." And he's like, "All right."
I was like, "Oh, if I was Dan, you would let me." I was going. We were.
If I could, real quick, since they're a part of your network, though, just one time, Dan, Marcus, really appreciate you guys coming in Friday and doing y'all's thing on the Afternoon Underdogs.
That was a
that
great
was
show.
a lot
by the
of
way.
fun.
Good show.
Yeah. It was
You
a lot
kind of
of
ran
fun.
the point on that because
Tried my best.
he was
Point God.
alcohol flu. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
You know what? You know what
If
I told
anybody
him?
has alcohol flu
For
for 6
days,
days,
yeah.
5 days I was out of work. 6 days I was on my fucking ass. Like,
Do you know what I told
what I'm
Dave?
saying?
Do you know what I told Dave? I said, dude, because it was that Monday, and he's like, hey, I'm sick. I can't do the show, this and that. And I'm like, this motherfucker's gone to Atlanta to get him a fake fucking ring. I know this for a fact. He is fucking playing hooky, and he's going up to Atlanta to get that fucking
You
ring.
got 2 more chances in May and in June.
Yeah, but you
You
weren't
would
going
have to miss work to get there, though.
But I was like, and then of course he's like, no, dude, I'm really fucking sick.
Hey,
And
can
I'm
I?
like, "Oh."
Do you guys think it would be possible, like, if I found a random on the internet and was like, "Bro, look, I'll buy your Braves ticket if you go to the game, pick up the World Series ring, and shoot it to me." You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm not kidding. I wouldn't mind a little replica ring or whatever. If
How
I
much are
bought-
they?
I don't know.
They're
They
giving
give
them
it
out of the
away.
game.
If
Oh,
you
they were
show
just
up,
giving them
yeah,
out?
it's like
well,
it's
like,
like
if you go to the
40,000
game, like the first couple
Oh,
thousand, whatever it
40,000
is.
people that walk in get one.
So if
Oh.
anybody out there listening, if you want to go to a Braves game on my pocket, you know what I'm saying, but you got to bring me the ring back, and there's only 2 chances.
Dude, you
we
do it
got.
on a Saturday. I got you.
It's a Tuesday
I'll get-
or a
But there's
Wednesday
one
game.
stipulation:
Oh.
get your ass there early.
Yeah,
You have to get there
They're
early.
selling them games
Don't
out
sit
right
around
now.
and-
all
Right.
of a sudden, Braves country is alive now. You know, it's funny. It's funny. I remember going to Braves games and
Like at Turner? Or at
no,
Truist?
at both, and sitting. You know, I mean, I ain't made out of money, so we're sitting a little high up, and then all of a sudden, you know, 3rd, 4th inning come around. And you're damn near right behind the dugout.
Yeah.
And now, all of a sudden, every single seat is full. And you're like, oh, we win the World Series one time. And now all of y'all who've been Braves fans, oh, I've been Braves fan for 25 years.
I just
Like,
don't
shut the hell
support
up.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't
Like,
wait to
shut
see
up.
what's gonna. Well, it's probably never gonna happen. You won't
when
be
the
alive
Reds
to
win
see
the
it.
World
I
Series?
might. My son might be.
I was 9.
You won't be alive,
Yeah.
old
Yeah.
school.
I'm like 2070 when the Reds win the World Series.
Right.
I'll be long gone, but Carson will be able to enjoy it. We'll
with
be
his
filling-
grandkids.
You're gonna leave the replica ring on your grave,
We'll be filling.
son.
We'll be filling our brand new stadium in
Dad,
Vegas.
you always talked about this. You said the Reds are going to win the World Series.
Yeah.
I'm 47 years old. They finally did.
Daddy, I knew you were going to be right. One day, I knew you were going to be right.
Forgot we don't have Drew, so let me read some comments.
Oh.
All right, so we got a lot of love for Miggy at the beginning. That's pretty cool.
Nice.
Pete, a lot of love for Pete Sampras as well.
Yeah.
Commenting on you. Colton Thursday saying Triple H is the GOAT. Triple H and his sledgehammer. Colton obviously said, he's talking about the Braves. He says, preach, because crazy they all come out of the woods when you start winning. That's
Yeah.
any
Yeah.
sports team, though.
It is.
Oh,
It is.
yeah.
And
But-
it should be that
Look
way.
at the Bengals
the
last
Braves-
year.
I was just
Look
about
at
to
the
bring that
Bengals
up.
last year.
I can-
They sold the shit out of some merchandise
Yeah,
last
that's
year.
true. Because I can say this, just I mean, this is my first team since like 08, since the Gators did it. But I know that this town, there's more Florida State fans than there are anything. I mean, you're so
We're 2
close.
hours away.
Yeah, we're
Alabama's
so close.
pretty fucking thick.
But
dude.
now,
Yeah, but
well,
how many of
Alabama
them are
started
real?
happening in 2010.
Yeah,
like
2009.
Alabama, no, 2009. I'm
But-
sorry.
But let's be honest though, the bandwagon probably didn't formulate till 2010.
2010, 2011, the
But
bandwagon
how
started.
many of them are real?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, so right
But
now,
like when y'all was on y'all's run college.
oh, there
and,
was
like
Florida Gator
basketball
fans
and football,
everywhere.
Oh my
You were like,
God.
I'm sitting
that
back.
was maybe more annoying than what Alabama was now.
Tebow
Maybe not
Mania,
for
baby.
you,
Tebow
but-
Mania.
Yeah, because see, and then you had people who didn't even watch football, and Tebow is the face of this thing, and now all of a sudden, all these people are like, "Oh, this is God's son right here."
Tebow 316.
Yeah,
Those are the same people now that are like, give Tebow a chance in the NFL.
Right.
And even Gator, like, diehard Gator fans are like, no.
How about Chris Leak on
got that
team,
chance,
though?
huh?
Chris Leak's sitting there going, "What the fuck about me?" Like,
What's funny is
I
I
did my
loved
thing, too.
Chris Leak.
Right,
And
I was like, I did
we
my
don't
shit,
win.
too.
We don't win that first championship without Chris
Hell
Leak.
no.
Because Tim Tebow couldn't throw.
No, not
Couldn't
a
throw
lick.
at all. But the good thing is they contrasted each other very well because Chris Leak could not run. So they would, but what the problem was that I feel, and I know he wasn't. I know Tim
Problem
Tebow was
Aaron
not
Hernandez. No, I'm just
gone forever.
Don't just leave me hanging.
Yeah, but I feel like I knew he wasn't the first running quarterback like that of his kind, but he was unstoppable, and it was just such a huge contrast with each other. But I loved Chris Lee. Yeah. Chris Lee was one of my favorites. Actually, Riley Cooper was my favorite. I was like, I'm going to be like him one day.
I didn't age
Whoa.
well.
And then
Did you
Don't go to Philly, Don't go to Philly.
Did you like Riley Cooper in Philly?
He's got black friends now. We're good.
Then he went to the pros, and I was like, oh, never mind. He didn't go to the Gators. What are you talking about? I never even liked that
and
man.
then Aaron Hernandez is murdering people. So, yeah, go way to go.
I'm still waiting on that documentary on the Gators.
My favorite player on that was Andre Caldwell. And he was somebody, he was my favorite player on that team. Because he was number 6, and number 6 my favorite.
Florida opens the season at home this year against Utah.
The Urban Meyer
There's
Bowl.
no reason we shouldn't get an Urban Meyer tribute.
I know.
No
100%.
reason.
He should be at least
Lap
if
dances
Fox
for
doesn't
everybody.
have him by then, and they better be by younger women other than his wife. But if Fox doesn't land Urban by that time, he should be an honorary analyst on whoever has that game that day. An honorary analyst, like, look, I coached both of these teams and then ran them right into the ground when I was done with it.
Let's just bring in a triple threat match with Ohio State, baby. Come on.
Yeah.
All right, back to Goats because we are way off the rails.
You know what happens when
This
you
is how
bring
you
me
know
on
you
a
have a
show.
good show. This is how you know you have a good show, though.
It's awesome. We're 40 minutes in.
Doesn't feel like it.
What?
Yeah. Doesn't feel like
I
it.
don't.
I just looked
So
to
where
him
were
like,
we at? Eliminated too
So
early?
we're basically doing the afternoon underdogs without breaks. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Let's do it.
Eliminated too early? Is that where we're at?
So, eliminated way too early. We could, unless you guys got another one, we can move on to something else.
LeBron, just because we didn't get that matchup with Jordan, right? You know,
Yeah, who
what I
did he
mean?
lose to?
He
Messi.
lost to Leo Messi. All
Right.
the soccer fans we have in this town.
that's
voted
That's
him.
what's
right.
kind of crazy to me, and I think the only reason that I went against LeBron in that matchup, actually, I can't
Well,
remember
you know
what I
sports,
did.
though. You know sports.
But I really tried hard to if I knew that I had a GOAT of another sport, right, and the other person was comparable to them, then I was gonna go with the other person, like LeBron, Mike. For me, it's Mike. You know what I'm saying? So if LeBron is up against someone comparable, then I would go
Mike,
Leo,
you
but
talking about Tyson?
No,
Jordan.
Mike Jordan. Oh. I
But
was like, what are we talking about right
His
now?
airness.
but his airness.
Fisher.
But the reason why I'd have to go back and look to see how I voted on that, because I'm a Cristiano Ronaldo over Messi.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I can't
Be
see
kinda crazy
myself
if you're not.
putting Messi over LeBron.
Yeah.
I'd have to go back and look at the facts.
Well, that is because, one, and we talked about this a lot on that show, and that was all political.
Yeah.
You know, but there is, and we put it in there, the impact on the world. And sorry, LeBron James has left a ton of negative impact on the world, in people's mouths. I'm not going to say on the world because, I mean, you have your political views. You have your political views. It is what it
Russell
is.
Westbrook in this year, so that did it for him, for me.
Yeah. Yeah. But, I mean, so you got all these, so people came in and they voted based solely on that. Like, I mean,
sure.
right now, Leo could be the exact same way. But we don't know because he's not here in America and we don't know
barely
enough
speaks
about
English,
it. Exactly.
He
So-
just didn't pay his taxes. That was it.
Yeah.
well, for a country that he doesn't even live in.
Right.
So that's like if you live in Canada and you're playing sports
Put
down
it-
here and you're like, fuck it.
Put
Whatever.
it like this: Leo Messi is so hated by his own squad right now that they're talking about getting Diego Maradona's heart for him. Like literally, encasing his heart
is that
and
the-
sending it to him so that he can have a heart of a real Argentinian player.
Wow.
Like, because he doesn't
I'm
have
wondering
any heart.
if you're
Yeah.
trolling right now.
No,
'Cause I
that's
know-
real. That's
no,
a
I know
real
about
thing.
the Maradona heart. But what
Yeah.
I'm saying is, are they doing that because he doesn't have heart, or are they doing that to like honor Maradona? one
Whatever
more
you
time?
think, whatever you want. You don't have no heart. Here's a heart.
There
Yeah.
you
The
go.
heart of a real
Well,
Argentinian
which
soccer
was
player.
which was the one in the
Footballer.
Wizard of Oz? That's the lion that needed the heart, right?
Yeah.
No, lion
No,
needed
the
courage.
Tin Man.
Tin Man needed the heart. So
The scarecrow
Leo,
needed a
you're
brain.
a tin man. You're a tin man.
We're a bunch of scarecrows.
We are kind of dumb.
All
But
right.
yeah, let's move on to that next question.
So Serena Williams obviously got the least amount of votes here.
Crazy with her just having a new movie. Well, it was more on Venus than it was.
it was
Serena.
about her
Actually,
life.
it became more about
It
Will
was-
Smith than anything.
It was absolutely. That's why he slapped Chris Rock, is because he got his ass beat like 3 or 4 times in that movie. I don't know if
I haven't
y'all
seen
watched
King
it.
Richard
I have
yet.
not.
Is
It's
it
actually
good?
I've not seen it yet.
Yeah,
Is it good?
it's decent. I watched
Okay.
like
I
the
haven't
first
seen
2
it
hours
yet.
and fell asleep, but it was 2:00 in the morning.
It's
so.
HBO Max.
This sounds so great.
HBO Max, right?
HBO Max.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about Serena for a second and just kind of talk about, because me and you talked about this a lot going in, and we, in hindsight, maybe we should have created a male bracket and a female bracket. Because
An individual and a team bracket.
an individual and a team bracket.
That's-
There were a lot of different things we
Yeah,
could have
that's the
done,
beauty
but
of learning.
I feel like the female athletes got a little bit of disrespect in this whole thing.
Unfair shake.
Unfair shakes.
Yeah, I feel that one, it's hard just based on some of the stuff that goes on. So you have, women talk about not getting paid as much in sports and all of this stuff, but it's also not as popular. So you really can't, you can't really discuss a whole lot of it.
The bit.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to shut my mouth, really.
Well,
to be honest, women make up 51% of America, and y'all are bitching at us.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is what I'm
Do
saying.
it. Just say you don't support your own.
Yeah, right. That's kind of my problem here is that, like, y'all are getting mad at us because we're sports fans. We love sports fans. No, like, get mad at, like, the females who aren't watching the sports because that's where your freaking demographic is. It's like, if it's that good, we're going to watch it.
It's exactly like if you're talking about politics and you never vote.
Yeah.
What the hell do you have? You don't have a word here.
Right.
You don't. The country's going to shit. Yeah. Do you vote? No. Well, then fuck
Especially when
off.
it comes to local
Stop talking.
shit, though. Especially voting for your local stuff.
Local.
That's where it starts.
Yeah.
But, like,
that's your voice right there. Your voice is local.
Everybody bitches about the women's NCAA tournament and like their hosting sites, and it's like it's always in Connecticut and Louisville and the South Carolina,
They're the only ones that
where
care.
they're going to go and show up, where they can put 10,000 asses in seats, and cheer on these women that are doing incredible things. But
yes, they are. Their sports are fun to get into.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So
I would love for my wife to come in and be like, "Yo, you want to go to a Lynx game?"
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Do it.
But like the women's tournament was fantastic this year. Mm-hmm. Not just because Louisville was in the Final Four, but like just watching those women play they did an amazing job. But you can't say that they deserve the same amount of money, revenue, however you want to define it, NIL money, whatever, because they're just women. Because they're women. It has to be. What are they bringing to the table?
Now, I will say I would agree with that in professional sports, but when it comes to the March Madness, because it's college
He's never
level,
done this before. You have to push
whatever.
the mic up. Yeah.
Wait.
He's never done
Because
this.
of
It's like you're on mic 2 back at the station.
yeah, right, and it's just falling down on me. Like, come on, man, you need some Viagra? We'll get you later here in the next break.
Blue Chew.
But no, with March Madness, it's like, well, that's one thing that's put on by the colleges. You know what I'm saying? So I do want them to be on somewhat of a level playing field. Like last year when they showed the gyms, right? And it was like the girls basically get like a mat and some dumbbells.
Yeah, yeah.
You
No,
know what I'm
and
saying?
that I agree with.
Equality there, but
Right.
like when it comes to pay, all of that revolves around the eyes that you're bringing to your sport. And if you're not bringing the eyes, especially your own eyes.
I think the only female sport in this country
Soccer.
that surpasses its counterpart is soccer.
And
That
they had
women's
the right
Not in
to-
popularity.
No, it is.
No, it
is.
isn't.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. I think in this country, the women's U.S. national team garners more attention than the men's team does.
That may be because of political stuff, though.
But it doesn't
It could
matter.
be.
But you can name more women soccer players that have played on the national team in the last 20 years than you can men.
we had 2 in the Go-to-Goats. Hope Solo, Mia Hamm.
That's what I'm saying. So
And those
you
were big
look
ones
at-
when we were
Yeah, but
growing up.
are you talking about like their pay? Is that what you're saying?
Right, I'm saying like that's the only one that I can think of off the top of my head where
but they made that
where
contract.
right. But I'm saying is like that's the only one I can look at and go, okay, well, that popularity actually is more. They're more popular than the men's their counterpart on the men's team. So yeah, so they probably do deserve a bigger piece of the pie.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's all I can
they
say,
got it.
though. And then good for them.
And they got it.
And justly and rightly so.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. We're
Right.
like
So
these,
they're more popular.
right, but these other
They won
women's
more
sports,
games.
they need to do the
and
same shit.
And they
You
got
guys
the
are-
money.
You guys are like harshly agreeing.
yeah.
Yeah.
That is a
But-
good agreement.
Yeah, but I'm just, I'm essentially insinuating what he's saying, just because. Shut up, bitch. Just because, once you become more popular than the opposition's, the opposite sex, you get more money.
Yeah.
The women's soccer team made more money than the men's, and then complained about it because they didn't have the same contract. Because they would have made more if they would have accepted the men's contract, which they were offered and turned it down.
Yeah.
And then took another contract so they would get paid throughout the entire year instead of getting the pay-to-play contract, so that they would have made more money because they were better. Honestly, they didn't believe in themselves enough to win as many games,
Right.
what makes no sense because they were number 1 in the world for like what? like 5 years running.
Yeah.
Easily.
And that would have been more incentive too.
Yeah, exactly. So you would have thought that they would have but they wanted like maternity pay and all of this like insurance, and the men never got any.
Right. It's the same shit that they're doing with the CBA and baseball and everything too.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it.
I'm not trying to say
They
you
put
are.
that contract there. That's what they wanted. They gave it to them, but then they complained because it didn't. Like they all of a sudden they started looking at if we did this and we had the men's contract, we'd have made even more money.
I've been waiting so long to bring this up, and I took us so far off the rails.
Well, revenue is sports.
It drives everything.
Look what happened.
College.
Look what happened to the Reds.
Yeah.
All of that was because of the missed revenue in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
This whole thing that we're dealing with, that we're going to be able to talk about tonight on our podcast, is
Isn't that the same thing though?
It's all because
every
of lost
team
revenue.
did that.
Well, yeah,
What's up, y'all
a lot of,
starting
but not
that
everybody.
thing?
But not everybody went down to $27 million in payroll.
That's Oakland, right?
But there were only 6 teams that were
34.
plus.
They went down to 34. But
And only got 2,000 asses in the seats.
yeah, I mean, but I can say this, that when it comes to revenue in college, there's only one sport in college that actually makes money.
And it pays for the rest
and
of
it pays for everything
Yeah.
else. So
That's
when
why
you
got-
look at like the football, like stadium, like everything that the football players get, comparing, and then the women are talking like this is bullcrap. Why don't we get what the football play? Because you don't make the money.
Do the baseball players sit there and be like, man, daggum, look at that old Bryant Denny over there. Why are we playing in this small thing? You know what I'm saying? Like, no, we know. Thanks, guys, for building our stadium to the capacity it could be.
Yeah.
You know?
Thank you for building us a 12,000 capacity stadium for us to put 5,000 asses in and then complain about the number of people that are there.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Straight up.
All right, let's go to we know the finale. We know
I would love, I love the idea of the male bracket and then a female bracket, though, just to kind of.
in hindsight, maybe that's what we could have done.
Oh,
and also in
future sight.
hindsight, I think future sight. We could have taken these athletes and seeded them a little bit differently. It took more time than we had as working adults with children and big time jobs.
The only way that it could have been done and be streamlined and be successful was the way that it was done. Because otherwise, you're beating yourself, you're beating your head up against a brick wall trying to figure out how, made a mistake here. Now I got to rework this whole side of the bracket.
Especially if you tried to seed them. Yeah. Anybody who tries to seed them without doing it random, you're basically just telling everyone who you think your top four is going to be.
You're going to need a lot of erasers and a pencil.
Well, yeah, but if you
but we were going to seed them improperly anyway.
But if you sat down and said, my Final Four would have been a little bit different. But Serena Williams was already in my Final Four. Michael Jordan was already in my Final Four, and so was Wayne Gretzky. Mm-hmm. Tiger was the only one that wasn't. So honestly, I guarantee your top four has probably been pretty close.
I think my top four, without being able to see how the bracket,
No, just your top four, like
I think
You're Mount Rushmore, right?
Oh honestly, what Serena has done for the sport of tennis, my top four would not change one single bit.
Thank you. So your seeds would have been
Tom Brady not being in there is one thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I get it, but I also get that if you take the criteria, which is what you tasked us with, right? And you break it down, when he came up against his matchup against Tiger Woods, that's where it broke down for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. Now let's talk about the man that just got knocked out today before we get to the final two. And because I know this heats up at least 75% of this panel, Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah.
Going to finish third place, just looking at the vote count and everything, which I would like to actually maybe take some time one day and go through and rank how everybody got like votes and stuff like that.
I think that would be fantastic. If you're grabbing one, grab me one.
Me too, please.
Got you.
I love the podcast element of just, it goes how it goes.
I'm going to go grab a brew. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait till we're
at
remote.
all.
Wait till we're remote.
Yeah.
But the thing is with it,
It's not going to be as fun when we're not in
being
person.
able to
Thank
see
you, buddy.
guys. I love it, man. This is a hell of a time you guys put on. First, not first off, because I've said it a few times, but really what you guys did.
Kudos.
Yeah. Big kudos to it because, to be sitting here now and having the crossover, 2 from Right On, 2 from the Afternoon Underdogs, seeing Reds, he's actually does more with the Right On than he does with ESPN, you know what I mean? But still, to be able to have this and to be able to take what's this, 2 months? We started before March Madness and we're ending after.
Yeah.
Beautiful,
I did
bro.
one. I would love to do another one based on coaches.
Oh wow.
Oh, that was one of the
That
comments.
was one of the comments. I saw that and I was like, ooh, that would be fun.
I brought up
real
broadcasters.
research though too.
Sports broadcasters would be
Broadcasters would be fun. It wouldn't to me. That wouldn't be as fun, based only because
How do you?
yeah, because you're gonna
that?
be like, okay, well, maybe you have a Reds guy that you're thinking of that is great,
Right, but-
and yeah, I mean, he
and
may
we'll
be
be like
great,
Chip Carey.
but yeah, but no, I wouldn't say Chip Carey. I'm sorry.
Chip Carey?
I like Chip Carey, but I like Jeff Francoeur better.
But,
Oh, okay.
I like
But
Jeff
what I'm
Francoeur.
saying
Well,
though
'cause he
is
gives
like
you
you've
the
got these
analyst
guys.
Yeah.
side, yeah.
Like I brought up, while I was in the studio for the underdogs. Like
He does.
Like Gus Johnson was calling the fucking Bulls Bucks game last night on TNT.
Was it Bulls Bucks or was it?
It was Bulls Bucks.
Oh, I thought it was Nets.
No, it was Bulls Bucks. And then
whichever one it was, he killed it.
Yeah, and then Bob Costas is on fucking TBS doing baseball now. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing.
Bob
Like,
Costas might win that.
But that's what I'm saying. But you like Jim Nance has something to say about it too. So that's where you're just like, holy shit, because he has the best.
There's a lot.
Because he's got the best 3 sporting events back to back to back. Right? He's got like every 3
John
years. He's got
Madden.
the Super Bowl. Then
Imagine
he's
if
got
Morgan
Then he's got the
Freeman did
Final Four, the
sports.
tournament, and then he's got the Masters. I mean, come on.
So
we're driving Kyle crazy right
What-
now.
no, I like that. No, this is exactly what we want. More ideas for the future. What about teams? Like you take like all-time
96,
teams, like where you
97
take
Bulls.
the 1996 Bulls, you take the 1990 Reds, hell, you take the 2021 Atlanta Braves.
You know the
Machine.
best way to do that would be like, you know how you have 4 sides of the bracket, right? So it would be like in this 1 through 16
Era?
or whatever. It's like, well, like Major League Baseball. This one would be like
NBA.
football. This one
Okay.
would be, yeah,
I like
you know
that.
what
I
I'm
like
saying?
that.
Like
I
doing
like
it
that.
and
Yeah, so
moving
you'd
it
have to
along.
win your sport
Yeah,
before you'd have
before
to
you take
compete
on another
against a
sport.
football team or
So
whatever.
here's my only issue with that though. It's a great idea.
Yeah.
But you've got college teams that are in there as well, and you've got hockey. So
Yeah,
how
that's a
do
good
you
point.
split that
That's a good
up?
point. So I
So
would
you
say
have-
eras then. Era might be the only way to do it. Like you would have like,
This
you know,
is your
70 to
90s, this is
80s,
your
the 90s.
80s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
I like that. Maybe look into doing that sometime.
Yeah.
A little foreshadowing here on
Yeah.
the Right Sports Next
We
week.
still got a
Right
few
Sports
months of
Network.
a slow season.
Yeah, we do. We have an announcement in a
All
little
right, so
bit.
Wayne Gretzky.
Ooh, I don't know what that face means. I don't like it.
Wayne Gretzky, you know the most. Lay it out for the people. Why should Wayne Gretzky have been in our final 2?
Wait, he made it?
No,
Why should he? Should he? Have?
Why should he have made it?
Just because, you know, like we were talking earlier about it with Wild Will, he made, you know, the proposition for Gordie Howe being there.
Hal
for
may be your
anyone-
Mr. Hockey.
Right.
Gretzky's my Mr.
Well,
Hockey.
he's the great one though, and there alone is a great reason to be in the final 2. Right, is because he's the great one. Actually, you know, if it was my take, I would have probably went Jordan Gretzky. Feeling bad about either way that I go.
I thought I got his name wrong for a minute. You said Jordan Gretzky. I was like, oh shit, is his
No,
name
no.
not Wayne?
But to keep it quick so everybody can get a chance here, his statistics will never be touched in the game of hockey, and they're doing more to bring scoring up, just like they are in every sport. And it's still not like you mentioned this every time he gets brought up, like when it's a vote for him. Take away his goals, he's still the points leader. Enough said right there.
Yep.
That's all you
And
need.
what matters the most?
Scoring.
Right? Exactly. It's not
Stats.
fighting in hockey. It's stats.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I could
100%.
see where defenses or something like that or
Yeah.
whatever could be brought into that. But I mean, you're 0-0 tie ball games if everybody has the greatest defenses. I mean, you have to have a great scorer, and he is one. He is the one.
He is the one.
I mean, to me, this was easy. Now, who does he overtake? Does he overtake Jordan? Does he overtake Tiger? That's kind of hard. But to me, Tiger has also stayed a little, even though I voted for Tiger and Gretzky, not Jordan, because I do believe by the end of it, LeBron will end up beating him. Just because I feel like by the end of the career of LeBron James, he will, the stats, you won't be able to go,
Imagine if
Shit.
But imagine if Mike didn't retire twice. Like,
Oh,
you know,
he
what
wins
I'm
8 in a
saying?
row.
Like,
But
He wins 8 in a
like,
row.
we're getting off.
But you made an argument for that case today that I loved, and I'm going to throw it back in your face now
Okay.
because I love that argument. Everybody always talks about Jack Nicklaus being the best golfer ever, not because of his wins, but because of his second place finishes. Everyone's like, how many would he have? How many would he have? Why can't we take that approach to LeBron?
Yeah.
Why can't we? Why
No,
can't we
and-
look
and
at,
yeah,
other
and
than
I
the
meant it.
Mavericks team, why can't we look at some of these teams that LeBron has lost to? The Golden State Warriors were a year away, like a year removed from having the greatest record in NBA history and added probably
surpassed the 96-97 Bulls.
Yeah, they had
73 wins.
And LeBron beat that team after being down 3-1. We don't talk about that.
I just got to give you some applause
Thank
for
you.
that one.
Thank you.
You killed that.
We don't talk about that, though. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about how the next season LeBron took that shitty Cleveland team back without Kyrie to go against that same Warriors team plus the best player in the NBA, Kevin Durant. I mean, everybody wants to talk about these almosts in every other sport except for LeBron.
Yeah, because to me,
when you name yourself the king of
yeah.
something, like that's the. I
Did
think
he
that's
name
the
himself
big,
that?
Yeah.
Well, he was given that moniker by Sports
Probably
Illustrated.
when he,
Okay, I was about to
all
say, I mean-
maybe so. But when he runs with it the same
He did
way
run
that he
with it,
does,
though.
because no one else does that. Well, I don't want to say no one else. No
Black
one
Mamba.
worth their salt.
the Mamba.
Yeah, but
he did it.
Did he go around calling himself like? Well, he
I mean,
said
I'm sure
Mamba
that
out.
I'm
he said
sure-
Mamba out.
He had
I
Mamba
remember that.
mentality.
He had Mamba mentality.
Sure,
but at the
but
end of the day,
I mean, he didn't make up that name. No.
But the Mamba and the
Shaq
King,
made that up, I
like
think.
running with a nickname and running with like I'm the greatest of all
Yeah,
time.
King James,
Type
I mean,
deal.
that's I mean, I
but
get it.
that doesn't necessarily rub me as wrong. It doesn't rub me as wrong as just the fact that we're sitting here talking about a guy who, same way as Mike, right? Couldn't get it done. But what did Mike do? First off, if you listen to Jerry Krause, the GM, he said, Mike never asked me for nothing. In fact, he would have never made any. Well, that's not what did LeBron do? I'm taking my talents to South Beach. So let's have the biggest production ESPN has ever put on.
Not two.
So I guess it's more of because
Yeah, that's
statistically speaking, no, he's right fucking there. If not,
He's better.
yeah,
He's better.
Yeah.
I mean, he may not have the championships, but he's better.
But
Statistically.
but no killer instinct.
But
I agree.
Not the killer.
right,
Yeah.
fair. But did Michael Jordan not also have the privilege of playing pre-social media?
1
Yeah.
million.
No, absolutely.
percent.
Jordan would have been considered the
Yes.
most arrogant dick on the
Yeah,
planet.
I don't think anybody would have liked it.
if he had
Nobody
social
would like him.
media. Yeah,
He would
nobody
be.
would like him.
We would be having this
You gotta
conversation
have
about
that
Jordan.
arrogant
And,
dick type
you know,
mentality,
and-
right? So you're making.
See,
a
but
great
everybody
point.
loved
You have to.
Kobe.
You have to.
But
Everybody loved Kobe, and everybody knew that he had that mentality.
But he was still.
never.
By the time social media started banging like that, he was smart enough and old enough to go behind the scenes
Sure.
and not even mess with that.
Sure,
But
but
I
I think
think-
his was also a little different too. I think Jordan more or less like Kobe did he led by the picture that you got of Kobe. Like he was in there before you, he was going to leave after you, and everything else. Michael Jordan was like, "Bitch, you're going to live my life."
Yeah, yeah.
Kobe was the whole time trying to prove that he was better than you.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you want to know how you get to Kobe status? How you become the Mamba? Watch me.
Yeah.
That's how you become the Mamba.
you brought up, Jordan playing in a different era with the Twitterverse, right? Going back to Wayne Gretzky, I would have liked to have seen Wayne Gretzky start his career in like 95 and see what that dude could do, not just for the game of hockey, but for the entire country. All right, because
Which country? Isn't he Canadian?
he is, but I'm
Okay.
saying,
I know.
but
I'm just kidding.
aside from playing his home games in Edmonton for the first year.
Yeah, I'm sure Canada would have been
but what
really
I'm
happy.
saying, though,
Traded
is
to LA though, wasn't it like 90? It was 90 something.
Right, but can you imagine if he had played in a social media era where we actually got to see all the good shit that he did
Sure.
every night, right? Night in and night out. Oh my God.
Well, that's still why he's held to such a high regard because even
Right.
without being able to see the small clips anytime,
Right.
every time you want to, he
but
was on
imagine
ESPN
his
all the time.
impact. Like I don't think he's not. I think he's in the top two if his era is different. But but because
think-
of when he played, it's absolutely affected where he's finishing up in this tournament here.
I will say
If
he
Bo
is the
Jackson
furthest
was
back
playing
athlete.
baseball and football in today's era,
If David Fulcher from the Bengals hadn't
I
ended
mean,
his
we could do
career,
what if
dude,
all
we'd be
day.
talking about a different freaking tournament.
And
here
I'm
with
the
Bo.
dumbass.
I don't like
Put-
talking about injuries.
I'm the dumbass who put
Anybody
Bo
who
Jackson ahead of.
I mean, if we're
Leo
talking about
Messi,
injuries,
you know?
Brandon Roy might be in this conversation. We
Oh
might
my
not even be
gosh.
talking about Jordan.
Len Bias.
Right, yeah.
There's so
we
many-
could have had.
there's
So many names. I hate
What
talking
ifs?
about injuries.
But
'cause-
Mike Trout probably would have got further.
yeah, no doubt.
Who knows where he would be? One name that got mentioned that we didn't read off, Kelly Slater. We
Surfer?
got a little bit of hate for the extreme sport athletes because for the
Yeah.
same reason as wrestlers, like they're not athletes. They're not athletes. That's bull. It's bogus. It's a bogus
It's
argument.
just bull. Yeah, it's just bull. Yeah, I think sport. I guess it's different to everyone. Like when you're 12 years old and you want to skateboard, and your mom's like, Jesus Christ. Now here he goes, going to go break his neck on a skateboard. And then all of a sudden you win a championship at 16 years old. And then all of a sudden, oh, now I'm an athlete. Yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't realize I'm an athlete once I win a world championship.
You're retiring thanks to my sponsorship.
Yeah, exactly. But at first it wasn't a sport 3 years ago.
Right.
All of us here, I don't know about you necessarily, but I know our age group, we hold Tony Hawk. I mean, outside of the video games, it's like Tony Hawk, wow, greatest skater to ever do it.
Oh, 100%.
I watched the documentary of him on HBO Max that just came out a couple weeks ago.
All of his injuries and stuff.
Just outside of that, dude, the dude was not liked growing up or whatever. He wasn't that good of a skater. He wasn't a good skater until the McTwist came about, which is a 540. And then all of a sudden, he started he was creating more tricks than other dudes have never been able to complete in their life. So you want to talk about a extreme sportist who did so much for his sport, so much for himself, achievements, impact on the world, impact on the sport, like I just mentioned. That's a 5 criteria type of guy. But it's just going to fall on deaf ears. Yep. And for good reason, because a lot of us in the group, right, we're team sports people. Mm-hmm. And why should you vote on, especially in a thing like this, why should you vote on where your mind goes rather than where your heart goes? In a thing like this. Now, it's our job more so to reel it in. Right. And kind of do the mental, but it's their job to pick with their heart.
I do have a question because I know that was a big thing is team sports versus personal sports. And to me, it's funny that anybody, I don't know what any of you really are, but it's funny that anyone can be a team sports first person. And the reason why is because right now we're talking about LeBron James and Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
But what about the teams around
individuals?
Him? Yeah. We're talking about the GOAT of GOATs, the best player at sport in general, at their sport or whatever. But it's funny how how much did Scottie Pippen weigh in on Michael Jordan's championships?
Yeah. Jordan never won a playoff series until he
exactly. So LeBron James, what would he have been without D Wade?
Yeah,
without Bosh, without Irving, without
Kevin Love,
without Love, without any of them. So
what would Kobe be without Shaq?
Without
Paul
Shaq,
Gasol
exactly.
And some of the other guys.
So it's funny how we can pick.
Derek Fisher was big.
Exactly. So it's funny how we can pick a team player, which is why in my Final Four, it was every last one of them were was individuals. Wayne Gretzky, except for Wayne Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky was the only one just because what he did was far out better than what anybody in sport has ever done.
But
ever will do.
You do have to rely on your teammates, but let me ask you this. When you're the individual, you solely control where it goes. When you're the individual on a team sport, you have to help reel all those guys in. Or they help you. You know what I'm saying? So, to be notified, to be the notable 1 out of 5 or notable 1 out of 11, to me seems a little bit tougher. I don't want to say it is
because you
tougher.
have to have that leader mentality.
Yeah, you got to have that leadership.
But you're not the best.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment, right?
A leadership, and I get it. And what I'm not comparing leaders here. Yeah. I'm comparing the greatest at what you do. Yeah. I'm in sales. I mean, I'm
cut and drive when you're better.
Exactly,
than
you're better.
Else, right?
I mean, if you're number one, you're number one. It doesn't matter. You're better than that person.
Yeah,
doesn't matter. They don't. Huh?
You guys don't have a bracket?
Oh, we have rankings. Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna vote.
not like that.
So let me ask you a question: is it one loaf of bread is a point, and then
No, it's VCMs. There's different things that go into it. It's value of what you bring to the company, as in profit
earnings,
and whatnot. Yeah.
I'm glad you answered that before I got the chance to make up my own acronym for VCM.
Venereal what?
Right. No, it's just different.
Cancer management. Venereal cancer management.
Yeah. In sales, you're just a dick. I mean,
so let's go around the table, and this is gonna be a challenge. So we're gonna start with Tiger Woods.
I'm not ready. I don't have any paperwork.
You're good.
Okay.
I'm just
kidding.
Make an argument for Tiger and make an argument against Tiger.
Okay.
We're going to do this with both guys.
Okay. So you want to start with me?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay. So for Tiger.
Because the finals, Tiger Woods, MJ. I don't know if anybody didn't catch that.
Right.
Tiger Woods, Michael
we just
Jordan.
skipped right over this arena.
The golf.
Should have hit the ball harder.
The game of golf.
No, she was great.
Is better because of Tiger Woods. Not only are the purses larger, the viewership is larger. I mean, look what, he showed up to the Masters a couple weeks ago, and the fucking ratings were through the roof, right? what he's done for the game of golf and the people that he's gotten to play that probably wouldn't have picked up a club in their life if it had not been for him. So that's my
play.
right. That's what I'm saying. So that's my argument for Tiger to be the GOAT of GOATs.
I just
Go
I
from
took it.
PBR to
Natty
natural
Light
light.
was weird.
Yeah.
I was like, that was a weird
Like a
argument.
drink of water.
I was like, that was a weird argument. Okay, gotcha. Argument against, and honestly, I think it goes to, I know you don't like this, but his injuries as well as his personal shit,
It's gonna be mine too.
right?
So don't let it get twisted.
I mean, you can honestly say the last 10 years of his career, he's not been on the course a whole lot. Whether it's from personal reasons with his relationship with his wife and
Can't keep his
all
dick in
that.
his pants. Is that what you're talking about?
The
Hey,
night-
but like
the-
Jake McGowan said, none of us would complain if we was Tiger Woods' dick for a weekend.
Right. He was focused on that 19th hole.
I ain't lying.
Right.
Am I wrong?
19th hole.
He's
I love that you
focused on
snuck
that
that one in
19th
there.
Right. So
Oh, I was stuck in the rough.
he wasn't putting from the rough because if you've seen the women, Jesus Christ.
No, he was hitting hole in ones.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
dude was hitting hole in
Aces.
ones.
He was driving from the green.
Shoot? Yeah,
There
what'd
you
you
go.
shoot? I shot plus 19, but I hit hole in one at the end of the night.
right.
Whatever.
I, for one, am a married man, so I'm not going to talk about it.
So anyway, but I mean, my argument against would be the injuries that kind of derailed his quest for.
See,
for
that
Jack's
would be an
record.
injury. That would be a plus for him, right? He's like what 3 behind, and he played in less tournaments like that.
But
for
as
me,
far as impact goes, I
Yeah.
can see that.
impact it's not even close. The impact on the sport or the world what Tiger had to Jack. Like Jack did great, and Jack had a generation of people behind him. But what Tiger's done for people who would have never even thought about playing golf in the black and not necessarily the Asian community, but definitely in the black community, people who would have not played golf
Harold
without
Varner.
Tiger Woods. Harold Varner. I wouldn't have played golf. Like I'm not. Like I'm saying, like
Obviously,
I wouldn't have
we know
played
you're.
golf.
We're not.
right. I'm just saying.
We know
like,
that you're not saying you're black.
I
mean, we
wouldn't
get
have
it.
played golf without Tiger Woods
Thanks for
because
pointing
of
that
like
out, though.
his explosion onto the scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like Jack's got to be held in high regard. It's a shame without saying it's a shame on how we put things together, but it's a shame that they had to go against each other in the first round because otherwise you would have seen them face off other people. But for me, the fact that he played in less tournaments, the fact that he's gotten to the point that he has, the fact that he won the Masters in 2019 coming off of an injury, I don't know. That's more of an argument for Tiger than it is against.
I
For
see
me,
you. No, I hear you.
What's
Yeah.
your argument for and against? Or
That's what he
I
just
think you
did.
just
Yeah.
did your for, but you
Basically did both.
That
Against
Natty Light's going to
my-
your head, buddy.
It's been a long day, man. It's
My against would only be, I mean, yeah, the off the field stuff or the off the course stuff. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like I'm not looking at these athletes to be a role model to me. I'm looking at what they do.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I think
I
it would have been
think-
differently though. I think not to interrupt, Nick.
No, you're
but
good, go ahead.
I think it would have been different though if Tiger hadn't been such a fucking robot his entire
I agree.
career.
Wait, no,
Right?
No,
Because no. Hear me
no,
out.
he wasn't a robot.
Yes, he was.
No, oh
He
my
100%
fucking gosh.
was a
No, he
robot.
was not.
I got him off ESPN, and now
Dude, he
he's
was
F bomb.
I can't wait to hear tomorrow's show. He'll be dodging F bombs like
Every
time.
guy, like what other golfer comes out there and says, "No, I'm not getting in second. Second sucks." Like how are you?
No.
gonna
I'm
say
talking
that's
about
robotic?
his contrived answers when he's at the podium on a press conference or if he's in an
Okay.
interview. It's
Okay, that's what I
very
was talking
about as well.
methodical.
Okay, yeah,
All right, my
yeah.
bad.
Very
My bad, yo.
methodical.
It was
very
almost like somebody
robotic.
told him,
to
like,
be
"Hey, reel it all in
Yeah.
when you're up there."
Yeah, he's-
That's what it seemed like.
Yeah.
programmed.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
and
as
but, so then you have this entire contrasting personality that you're like, holy shit, the dude's a sex addict and he's got all this shit going on. And
He's
like,
a real human being.
Right,
That's
right,
my type
but,
of guy.
but it was such a dramatic swing from one side to the other, and I think that's the reason.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I think four, obviously, they kind of, I mean, there's really no other fours outside of what they've already said. And the against would be, and I get what you're saying. It was that time frame where after all of that happened, you just had such a negative impact on the world, and I know you say that you don't look at these athletes to like inspire
models,
you
yeah.
or
Yeah,
be
yeah.
role models or anything like that. But, I'm not a parent. But I would imagine that, yeah, you want Carson to play like Tiger Woods, but you don't want him to be Tiger Woods, like because of what happens off the course.
Really
you know,
a scumbag.
Yeah,
all things
exactly,
considered.
and that's what I'm saying. So, like, I mean, any man that just wants to throw that thing around for a little while, Jake McGowan, you're right. But you know, any man that's married that wants to do all of that is just that it's totally. It's
Scumbag.
terrible.
Yeah,
Scumbag. Yeah.
But
So
give him
1000%.
Give him credit for what he's done lately, though, for his
No,
image with Charlie
That's-
and his other kids. Like,
yeah, using your kids to better your image. I get it.
You're seeing. Well,
Hey,
I
that's
mean,
how I did it, baby.
But no one's.
how I did it.
But not too many people are looking at him as that scumbag anymore.
And I get
He's
that.
the father figure. Like
Sure.
you're showing him videos of Charlie
did it
hitting
too.
and all the Tigerisms
Big
that he's got
Ben.
going on, and he's smiling like a dumbass. Like, I mean, that's
Tom Brady raped
it's
the
refreshing.
Patriots franchise, but here we are.
Yeah, you know, I get it, and he's doing better.
To his
Obviously,
credit.
somebody finally. I mean, and you got to think, he was also being compared or being told he was the greatest, just like LeBron. Guess
Yeah.
what? LeBron's a dickhead. Tiger was a dickhead, but guess what? They were both great at 20 years old.
Yeah.
Hell, LeBron was great at 19. Or
Tiger was great at 16.
12.
Shit.
I mean, yeah, they were all great at these young ages.
I think no, keep going on.
No, you know, it's just like in college football, you have all these 5 stars that come in and they just think that their shit don't stink and nothing. I mean, they're just great and they're
I just
coming into
gotta show
Alabama like, I'm about to, you think Nick Saban's going to coach me? Bitch, I'm the best to ever play this game. And then they don't even play.
Yeah.
Then they go to Auburn because they think they're going to,
like
yeah.
a J.E. Hall
Yeah,
and Jaleel Billingsley.
exactly, and then
because
they don't
you
do
got your
shit.
time to shine in
Exactly.
a national championship and you didn't do a thing.
Exactly. So, you know, I just think that it happens. It sucks because you do have those feelings, you know, especially, you know, I never watched golf until Tiger.
Right.
Ever. Now, I still don't watch that much golf now, but
But if he's in it, and if he's playing, and he's
like
in it on
I
Sunday,
wouldn't mind watching.
you're
Yeah,
fucking
exactly.
glued, right.
So
I
I mean,
watched
it's
the whole first 2 days
Right,
of the
you're
Masters, start to
fucking
finish.
glued.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
see, I didn't do all that, but
So I want to start on against Tiger. I'm trying to think outside the box because you guys have already said so much and it's all good points. So I want to start against Tiger. I have this weird thing, and I don't think that athletes owe the fans anything. I'm not one of those people that thinks, oh, they should do this, they should do this. But coming off the course, coming off 18, it makes me sick to see an athlete not fist bump kids, not high-fiving kids. And like I said, this is not my biggest negative against
This
this.
is
You
the
guys
COVID
have kind
era,
of
though,
already.
Kyle.
Well, this is
I
before
think you say-
COVID.
yeah,
This is before COVID.
I know,
just to
I'm just
speak against that, just really fast, is the fact that if you do it, if you're known for that, and then you miss a kid, then you're a
yeah.
dick.
Yeah.
Like, and then that one
What's wrong
video
with
is going
my
to show
son?
up. That one video is going to show up if you not doing it, and all of a sudden, oh, he's not really that good of a person. Look at this, and it's one freaking kid. I mean,
Yeah, but
If I was an athlete, I'd be like, holla at my agent.
yeah. I'll come to your birthday party if your mama and daddy pay me enough. See you later.
That's really like something that like kind of steps out to me a little bit, and but obviously the biggest negative was just off the course stuff.
Yeah.
man. I mean, when you're in the news for stuff like that, it's bad, and especially
Right.
being a married man. Like you can't fathom doing that kind of thing, especially that many times and that methodically thought out. Like, oh my God, hey, change your voicemail. She might be calling you.
Buffalo Wild Wings tried.
I mean, the dude was on the down low so bad he went to IHOP. He got an IHOP waitress. He was like,
but when we're
yeah, I
talking
gotta
about
get
Lindsey
this.
Vaughn,
Oh, maybe
like,
she
we're talking
hopped.
about Lindsey Vaughn.
That was
You know
after
what
the
I'm
wedding,
saying?
the marriage.
yeah,
All right, but
just
argument
being
for
facetious
Tiger.
at this point.
I made the argument for Tiger last week. Look at the Masters this past. I mean, you can't. You could literally
the practice.
You could go through this. You could go through this and look at all these athletes, this whole list, and you could say that nobody has had the impact on their sport that Tiger Woods has. Not a single damn one.
Not when you go all the way around
No.
the things.
Look at the last.
If Michael
two-
Jordan was making Shaq priced shoes and selling that amount, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
Maybe. But because they're like the high dollar, the collectibles,
Yep.
and he's the most paid athlete by far, is not even close.
Nope.
Yeah, great point, Kyle.
Comment real quick, Brian Hollinsworth. If you followed Tiger for 20 plus years, you'd understand the drive, the focus, and his demeanor. Unfortunately, he grew up just like his father. His dad was a scumbag, but he has grown up lately.
I
it's-
love that. I love that, Brian. That's such a great take.
I like that comment. All right, so for and against Michael Jordan, and I'll start. For Michael Jordan, the obvious, right? I mean, Jesus, 6-0 in the finals, never lost. Left for 2 years, or left for a year, came back, did it again, then left, then came back, and really, I mean, he stepped down kind of started to fall off there. But, I mean, Michael Jordan was just a master of his craft. I mean, really, back then, if you wanted somebody to touch the ball in the fourth quarter, there was nobody but Mike. Mm-hmm. Now, I've already said it once. Michael Jordan had the privilege, the honor, and the distinct pleasure of playing in a pre-social media era. So nobody knows how big of a piece of shit Michael Jordan really was. He got this Last Dance documentary. He gets all this love. Everybody buys his jersey, buys his $175 shoes. Well, I'm just saying everybody buys his $180 shoes that people are killing each other over, and they don't talk about it. And they don't talk about the negative impact that Michael Jordan has had on the world and on his society. He's a scumbag. He's a piece of shit. And I forever will believe, and I've made this joke a couple times, but this is legit. I forever will believe that Michael Jordan left basketball and went to baseball to try and cover his financial losses for gambling debt that got his father murdered. That is something that I will ride that train forever.
I'm with that, but to take it a step further, I don't think it was because of the money thing. I think it was because the NBA was going to suspend him for a year if he didn't take off a year.
And he took off. So,
I don't
but
think
nobody
it was
talks
'cause he
about
had
it.
money. Yeah.
Was that in The Last Dance?
Hell no. I don't think it was.
Hell no.
Not in the 10 episodes that I watched.
Absolutely not.
Well, yeah.
I think they brought
but it's speculation.
up the gambling
so
loss
unless you have the fact, unless you're talking
at the same time of his, I think they brought up the gambling losses at the same time as his dad's murder. But I don't think they connected the two.
But there's
Does
another.
that make sense?
Oh, yeah,
but
yeah, I
there's
get what you're saying,
There's
yeah.
still that other fact of like Michael Jordan's dad wanted him to play baseball more than he wanted him to play basketball. So then when your dad passes away and it's like,
It's a
what's
great cover-up story, isn't
I
it?
mean, great cover-up story or great reality. Like you go and you play a little baseball. And you don't.
But the only reason why he even got into pro baseball was because of his name.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not that he's any
Same
good.
way with Tim
But
Tebow.
money.
though.
Yeah.
What about
Same
that
way with
pleasure?
Tim Tebow.
He got a free pass. Like, there you go again. There's another name.
Tim
He got a free
Tebow.
pass.
Tim Tebow wasn't even good in the NFL and still got to ride into the at least AAA Port St. Lucie Mets. So I don't want to hear that.
Yeah. But
But did he get to go play for a contending Chicago White Sox team?
Did Mike ever make the MLB level?
Yeah, he
Birmingham?
played, yeah.
No.
I thought he did.
No,
I thought he played for
Barons.
Chicago, didn't he?
Birmingham Barons.
Okay.
I don't
No,
even
I was about to
think
say
he
he played.
made
He
it
played.
AAA.
Yeah, I was about to say he
Tim
played in the
Tebow
one.
made
The
it
one.
in
league.
AAA.
And honestly, toward the end of his AAA career, he started actually
Yeah,
playing
there
really
was
fucking
people
well.
saying he was.
And then he was
decent.
just like,
But
fuck
are
it.
they saying that just
But-
to?
but here's-
MJ, like,
That's what I think.
If I can go,
yeah, I'm sorry.
no, you're good, brother. Here's my pro for Michael Jordan. Okay, I don't know how old you all were, but I remember when Michael Jordan came back rocking that fucking 45 in Madison Square Garden, Mecca, right? His first game back, and he just in Mecca, and he just fucking puts up. I think he put up like 47 points or something in the entire world. Like we talked about Tiger being glued, everybody being glued to Tiger on the course on Sunday. The entire world stopped to watch that game because it was Jordan. Couldn't wear 23 because they had retired it. They had to go through this whole rigmarole to try to get it down from the rafters and put it back. So he wore 45, which was his baseball number. And to sit there and
ended well
watch
for
him
him.
do what?
I said that ended well for
A little
him.
bit.
Yeah.
So, but to sit there and watch that game and what it did, because I mean, like you want to talk about water cooler moments at work or, sitting around a classroom in school, that's all anybody talked about for weeks was Michael Jordan is back. And that's the impact that he had on not just the game of basketball, but the entire freaking world because everybody was glued and just couldn't believe what we were seeing. And then he comes out the next year and they just dominate.
See, my only argument to that is social media. I mean, the social media isn't what it is now. Like right now, you can retire. Tom Brady just did it. Mm-hmm. There would have been no announcement. He could have just came right back, or retired, came back in a year or whatever, and it would have been the same impact. Now nobody really gets that.
Yeah.
Then you get that impact now. You get that holy shit. Nobody's seen anything else but like let's glue to the TV. But now all that stuff's kind of ruined by social media.
Yeah.
You're not surprised
fuck you, Adam
anymore.
Schefter.
Yeah.
Great point. If LeBron retired ahead of the regular season, and then all of a sudden, right after the All-Star break, unretires, the world would go nuts.
Yeah.
Tom Brady, unretired. So the world went nuts, though,
Yeah.
without social media
Yeah.
with Mike.
Yeah, but
And
Yeah,
they
but the
would have
world-
done the
in-
same with
the only
It would be the exact
Yeah,
same way if
yeah.
you didn't have social media with
But
all the other
only
guys.
comp I
Right,
can
that's
come
what-
up
Yeah,
with.
yeah.
The only comp I can come up
disagreeing
with
harshly, like
Yeah,
Sal
yeah.
said earlier.
is
That's
if
what we
your
do on
all's-
this.
if
That's
your
what we do
all's-
on the show.
If your all's godsend LeBron were to retire right now, and
Just so you know, I hate LeBron.
and
Everybody's
then when,
godsend, by the way.
and then
Everybody.
when
He's all, he's
and
all
then
of our
when
godsend.
He's your
Bronny-
champion too.
Right.
He's your king. I mean,
and then when Bronny gets into the league, he unretires and goes and enjoys Bronny. That would be the only comp that I can think of. That would be
when Michael Jordan played with his dad.
no. I'm just saying, like Michael Jordan coming out of retirement and doing
One
what
day.
he did.
Not the casinos, man.
That would be something that would be comparable.
I feel like an asshole. I apologize.
I piggyback.
Why is
Yeah,
that?
you did.
That one's
care.
the one that stops us in our tracks. Out of
It's
everything
like I'm
we've
over there
said.
saying "fuck on air." Or something.
I get you. Yeah. No, I get you. And I think that the negative is just he's just a cock.
Yeah.
Just a cocksucker. I mean, and I get it because you know,
You can call him a cock. Don't call him a cocksucker now. That's where we draw the line.
The panty.
yeah, the panty line. Yeah,
But the thing is if there's anybody on this list or anywhere that has the right to be arrogant, isn't it fucking Michael Jordan?
no,
No? Seriously?
Doesn't have the most championships and doesn't even have any statistic record in his entire sport. No. Gretzky has every right to be an absolute cock.
I gotta fact check that one, like, because I
don't believe he has anything.
Right, and I'm not gonna argue because I'm not.
'Cause I think we looked it up at one point. Yeah, I
it's
did.
Third
right,
in
and
the
I
league in
don't-
scoring, I
I don't
think.
argue on
Third or
things
fourth
that I
in the league
don't
in scoring.
necessarily
No, I think he's like
know.
7th or 8th now,
That
right?
very
Didn't
well
he
could be
fall
true.
down quite a bit?
I'm working on it.
Yeah,
He's
no.
working on it now. But yeah, we looked it up one day
He was
because we were
third for a
just-
long time. I know
Yeah,
that
yeah,
much.
and LeBron's number 2 now, right?
Yeah, because he's about to pass
and
Kareem.
He's
in
about
the
to pass
future.
Kareem.
There's
Yeah,
no
so
doubt
I
about
mean,
it. So what you're saying when you're getting at like with LeBron, like
right
holding.
So what holds
it's true.
what makes it at this point? I mean, I get it, championships. I get it. He's winning in those. And does LeBron have any more? Again, I hate LeBron. To me,
Right.
this is just more of like trying to.
I
Just
think,
trying to
you know,
give a different perspective.
No,
That's
no,
all
I
this
got
is.
you.
But
no,
you know,
absolutely.
what would it take for LeBron James to beat out Michael Jordan?
the
Would
for
it be
me,
number 1 in scoring?
No, honestly, because those things like if you look at the year, how long did Michael really play? Like years wise, was it
84 to
about 2000?
2000?
But he did not play 16 seasons consecutively or
No,
whatever.
he
You
took
know what I
those
mean?
2 off or whatever.
So-
year
So he
and a
played
half
14.
Yeah. So
Okay.
say 14 years, and then like LeBron, by the time that
He's played, like,
done
what,
and
18
everything-
or something already?
And what Kyle
No, he has
said,
19.
He's played 19. Yeah. So he's played
if
19.
this isn't 20 already,
2003 to 2022.
yeah, you're right.
So he's
this is
19,
19. He'll
yeah.
be on 20 next year. So
But, I mean, that's a lot of seasons. But you know, and I get it. But there hasn't been as stark of a drop off. Like Michael Jordan retired because he couldn't handle not being the best in the league. Couldn't handle it
What, in 2000 you mean?
when he when he retired at the very end. When
That's
he
what I'm
was
saying,
like
with the Wizards or whatever.
he's
Yeah,
40
okay.
years old.
Okay, so when he
He
came
played
into the league,
82 games, and look at your boy now, who yes, dominating statistically, but can't even like without going on some load.
you keep calling him my boy. That I don't.
Okay.
That's the only problem here.
You're right. Hey,
With Kyle's boy. Kyle's boy.
No, but LeBron like is playing like load management. Like I'm the next Kawhi Leonard.
And what's he done last? And after they won the championship with LA in the bubble, what has he done?
Sure.
I think that's my difference.
Not
Is like
much.
Mike
He's not
played
been on the court that
82
much.
Right.
with a shitty team, played the full 82 with a shitty team, with a broken rib, with a cut finger, and it's like for me that's. I get it, but still, play basketball with a paper cut on your hand, man. It might hurt a little bit.
Roll
but
your
no.
ankle.
Yeah. Show me some
Stupid.
real.
I said broken rib in there.
Yeah.
But he continued to go about it, regardless if he knew, like, all right, yeah, look, we suck. Kwame Brown and Jerry Stackhouse are our best players,
Sure.
but he kept at it and then retired after that. Whereas, like, LeBron is like, all right, I'm done with this season. I'm shutting it down.
Again,
You know what I mean?
LeBron James is a dickhead.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
I'm
Well,
not.
no.
He is. But all I'm saying, all I'm asking is, what would it take for him to get over?
I don't think it's possible.
See, I just.
I don't think that it's
So then
don't
what?
think it's
possible.
impossible.
Then why are we doing this?
Yeah. Then why do we hold Michael Jordan so high? Because you can't tell me it's just because he won championships all by himself because he didn't win shit
No,
until
I
Scottie
think no.
Pippen.
I think that the shoes have a big part to
His
do with
brand.
it.
Sure.
If you
His
weren't,
brand.
if
Okay.
he wasn't 6-0 with the Jordan brand, all right, yeah. But I don't think that he gets the Jordan brand to be what it is without the 6-0.
Sure.
Without and like the 6-0 is one thing. 2 3-peats. 2
Right.
3-peats is pretty impressive. And like, yeah, you can add in Dennis Rodman and Scottie Pippen, and I get that, but maybe you take away Scottie and Dennis, and maybe they don't get one of those. You take away Mike, they for sure don't get one.
Yeah,
of
you
those.
take any championship that LeBron got is the same way.
Hey, real
Yes.
quick.
I mean,
I'm
it's-
digging some stats up to compare the two real quick. Just like
Please say
head
I'm
to
right.
head.
Please say I'm right. Please say I'm right.
Well, you're right
I
on
just
a
want
lot
to
of
point
them.
out
Yeah,
that
I know.
Dwight Howard is 10th all time in rebounds.
Nice.
Hey,
So here I got to point
Shout out.
out
Quietly done.
Yeah, that is very
Jordan
quiet.
here. Okay?
Point for Jordan. All right.
The dream team. Okay? That magical freaking roster.
Talking about the one in the Olympics?
Yeah.
The one that
The
was
dream
not
team.
as good as the 2018.
No, but dude, you look at all the names that were on that team and who do they all look to lead them?
So,
Fucking Michael Jordan.
Yeah, and
you
I-
had Bird, Magic, Malone, Stockton.
I don't think
my
that's
only
true.
my only problem
They did. Watch the freaking documentary on NBA TV.
my only problem with all of that is
Or
you know
could just
when you talk
step right out the door, go behind, and there's a
you
V in
gotta
the
pee?
fence. Yeah,
Breaking the seal.
there's a
breaking
V in the
seal.
fence.
yeah
There's a P in the fence.
over
Yeah,
there next
there's
to
a-
that tree. Yep.
Yeah, there's a tree.
Don't pee in the pool.
Yeah.
Just walk straight out
Hey,
the door.
there's
If you pee in the pool, it's going to turn green.
There's a thing out there that it looks like a filter. It's not. Lift the lid, pee directly into it. But no, I think you're right. The problem with thinking about the Olympics and the Dream Team and all of that stuff is, I mean, LeBron did the exact same thing. What year was that?
2008, 2012, and 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he did the exact same
but
thing.
I get it. But if you look at the legends that were on that team, and we had never seen pro athletes compete in the
Sure.
Olympics, and so you get that.
But that's why it was the
roster.
Dream Team. That's why it was
but
called
you
the Dream
get
Team.
that roster. I mean, every single one of them's a fucking Hall of Famer.
See, but again, the ones
legends.
the
Top
08.
50.
See, but the 08, the 12, and the 16, they haven't. They're all still. They're still in the league. Most of them.
Well, most
So-
of the 12's gonna. I think
Yeah,
it's the 12 team that I'm trying to think of.
So,
the
but-
12 team might end up the same way. All Hall of Famers.
So to my thing is I believe that people don't want to give GOAT status to somebody still playing. And right now we have such a remembrance. Oh my God, of
The nostalgia.
Michael fucking Jordan.
The nostalgia.
Michael Jordan. Yes. Oh, it's just Michael Jordan. Larry Bird.
How
Wasn't
does-
even the best 3-point shooter.
How do they
Yeah,
make you
Larry
feel?
Bird was awesome. No, I'm just exactly.
How do they make you feel?
But now you have Steph Curry over Larry Bird. You have
Fuck no. Steph Curry is the
It's
worst thing
shooting-wise?
to happen.
Shooting-wise?
Steph
Yeah,
Curry is the
the-
worst thing to happen
Larry
to
Bird
the
did
game
the
of
same shit.
basketball ever.
Yeah, but at the time, Larry Bird was the same thing.
No, no. Larry Bird had it all, and he was
Sure,
the
but most of-
best at his craft at that time.
Yeah,
That's
but he
why
was-
him and Johnson were so good together.
Right.
but
And
the league
going
was so
against each other.
damn unathletic back then that Larry Bird was able to run with
But
these
Steph
guys.
Curry ruined the game of basketball
Sure.
with the way he
But
plays.
maybe he changed it
for the negative
to you.
in some people's
me.
eyes.
to you.
to a lot of people.
No,
And
well,
some-
I
and
mean,
really,
yeah,
when
but you're talking about a whole new generation of people that, like you said, there's a whole generation
Yeah.
of people playing golf because of Tiger Woods.
You want to talk about impact on their
There's a
sport.
whole new generation of people playing basketball that are 5'8" to 6 foot to 6'2" that never would have gotten to play the game of basketball if Michael Jordan was their favorite player. None of them.
I got you.
So
No, I
yeah,
agree
mean,
with that. I
There's
do.
a lot
I mean,
of people who
when
got
we're
cut on their basketball team that would have never thought to play
Exactly.
basketball again.
Because guess
without
what?
Mike.
You perfect your craft, and that's your craft. You run with it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Steph Curry is the GOAT of GOATs. I'm not saying that at all. Did he actually deserve to be on this list? Maybe, maybe not. I think he was, right? He was on the list.
yeah.
Yeah. But he did change the game of basketball. In your eyes, it's negative, and I
Yeah.
get it. To me too, because
Yeah.
I feel like I want to see Shaqs.
But we also feel like the way that baseball is changing to us, from our perspective, is a negative. Whereas to these youngins, we need something to
Like to me,
revitalize
Fernando
the sport.
Tatis, you're just like, dude, what a piece of shit. Get his ass out of
Yeah,
there.
but for
Who
kids,
cares?
it's like that's
Yeah.
my
That's my favorite
God.
player. Yeah, exactly.
And
No,
I
Charlie
love it.
Freeman.
Same way with Ronald.
Charlie Freeman, really, it's his favorite player,
Yeah.
Tatis.
Yeah. Not his dad.
Not his dad.
Who hits 325 home runs to 30 home runs.
The example of a baseball
Maybe he
player.
knows
the best
his dad's
baseball
a
player.
scumbag.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe he just knew it coming out the gate.
I think it's the hair.
I compared the two. This is regular season stuff, and I just took all-time ranks. I didn't write down numbers or anything like that. Points all-time, MJ's 5th, LeBron is 2nd. Steals, MJ is 3rd, LeBron's 10th.
Okay.
Assists,
defense versus all. I mean, that makes sense.
LeBron's got to be killing him in assists.
I'm going to go to rebounds first because assists is the most notable one.
Yeah.
Rebounds, MJ's 132nd all-time, LeBron's 38th. And in assist, MJ ranks 47th all-time as a guard. As a guard, by the way, where that's one of your primary jobs is to dish.
He's a shooting guard.
He's a shooting guard, but that you're still supposed
He
to
was
be
a facilitator in that triangle offense, though.
I'll give you that.
LeBron is 7th.
Yeah.
So he beats him in every single category except for stealing.
Except for steals.
And I think a lot of the
I didn't even look at blocks. Let me look at blocks. Y'all go ahead and talk.
Oh, that's got to be LeBron
That's
too.
gotta be
Like
LeBron,
that's what I'm
too.
saying. If
'Cause
you're
he played
talking-
defense
it's
when he wanted to
it's
play
like this. You
defense.
got to almost break it down into like the greatest singular basketball player of all time, at least for people from 85 and on. You could say basketball hardest, or you could say Michael Jordan. Hardest worker would be Kobe Bryant.
This is too much. I can't find either one of them on the blocks.
And then the best all-around ball player would be LeBron. The best all-around ball player would be LeBron. But for me, it's like I would rather have the club. Like you could be the best all-around ball player, and you
Not be
You
close.
know,
I don't
going
want
to
my
the
star
playoffs, though.
passing the
You know
ball
what I'm
with 3
saying?
seconds to go. I want him.
Yeah,
to
I
shoot
want
the
him
fucking
shooting.
ball.
Sure.
But there's nothing against LeBron.
Hey, but
like
how about-
I think LeBron
I
is
just-
fucking great.
I'm
How
looking
about
at
poor
this.
fucking Tiger Woods because he just got kicked to the curb.
Yeah, what about Serena though? Come on, the dominance that
Yeah.
she's had on the game of tennis.
Yeah.
Like her and her
He's
sister.
trying to bring Serena back.
No, but I'm saying we're talking about Tiger, and it's like no, but same way. I didn't vote for
I
Serena.
just said Tiger because Tiger was actually in the final matchup. So I was
Yeah,
like, well,
true.
fuck it.
He's like, what about Serena? Like we already talked about Serena. We're
So
past
I've got this weird
But I brought
feeling.
up Gretzky too, so that's I mean,
I've got this weird feeling that we might 2-2 split, and we need to figure out what the fuck we're gonna do if that happens. We fight to the death.
Rochambeau.
Huh?
I think
Rochambeau?
Rochambeau is the way to go in a go to goats type
Yeah.
thing, right?
What's
We'll
that
do a
mean?
tournament.
I was about to say I don't know what that.
I don't know what that means.
Scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors?
Oh,
Oh
that's
God!
what Rochambeau.
You, how young are y'all?
I'm 30.
30?
31.
You don't know
my 1 year
Rochambeau?
age.
Hey, I'm 31.
My 1 year age.
You're a South Park fan.
You said
Oh,
Shambo.
You're a South Park
31.
fan. You don't remember when they played Rochambeau?
I hear Shambo and I think Bryson DeChambeau.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, my God.
Back to Tiger, baby. Back to golf.
So what do you got now? So we're going to do a vote?
Who's your goat of goats? Who is it? Is it Tiger Woods? Is it
MJ.
Michael Jordan?
It's MJ for me.
Tiger.
I'm Tiger.
Yeah, so it is what it is, man.
It's too
I
soon.
will-
You're rocking the jersey, dude.
Yeah, no,
Rochambeau.
I'm going Mike.
Yeah,
I would love to
Rochambeau.
be able to pick.
Look,
but
I lose in rock paper scissors damn near every single time, so it's gonna be on you.
So it's gonna go rock paper scissors shoot. Best 2 out of 3. We gotta clip this. I want to make sure we clip this. You guys that are watching are about to play witness to this. We're deciding the fucking goat of goats.
Goats by
Now
rock,
we've worked our asses off.
Yes.
We've worked our asses off and spent hours and hours
Dave, are you
on this.
shooting?
And
no,
it's coming,
you're shooting.
I'm shooting?
Come
it's
on.
coming down to fucking rock paper scissors.
Y'all want him and I to play, and then
All right,
y'all
is
to
it-
play.
is
and
it
Well,
whoever-
because
best of
you guys
3?
are on camera.
Is it best of
together.
3?
Shit, I have to do it.
So what if
Oh,
we do
no.
this though?
All right, I'll play
What
it.
if we do this?
Is it
Okay.
best of 3?
Me and Nick go.
Okay.
All right. If he wins and then you play Adam. If
Okay.
both of y'all win, then Tiger wins.
Okay.
If it goes, me and Nick split, you and Adam split,
We go to a vote.
then the winners from whoever played Rochambeau or Rochambeau play each other.
Colton says, "Why aren't we voting on it?" Well, I'm going
I
to tell
think
you
that's
why.
a great point, but
I think it's a great
we
point, but I'm going to
voted
tell
a
you
lot
why.
to get
Because
here.
the whole incentive was to get you motherfuckers to watch the show.
Right.
And there's 6 of y'all out there right
So
now.
there's 6 people watching, and 100 people voted.
Right,
That's
yeah.
why we're not going to the vote.
That's
Right.
why we're not going to the vote, because people are voting and they're not. The ultimate incentive on this, it was to have a good time and have some
Yeah,
off-season content.
absolutely.
But was to drive eyes to us. Was
Yeah.
to drive eyes. It was a selfish thing. So, absolutely.
Yeah, we didn't do our
I
work
don't-
for nothing,
I don't
Colton.
think that.
Yeah.
I don't think
Asshole.
so.
Thursday.
But it's a
Thank you for
promotional
watching,
thing.
Colton.
Yeah, yeah, I love you.
Thank
Don't go
for
away.
being- Don't go anywhere.
Because
Don't go anywhere.
without the conversations that Colton and Jake
Yeah.
created in some of those groups, I don't
Yeah.
know, or in some of those
on.
votes, I don't know if it.
How many
it gets
people
as
did you
fun.
say were watching?
We're at 5 right now.
Perfect.
Someone
That's an
just
odd
left.
number.
That's it. Okay,
A
we're
5
down.
voting right
We're
now.
down to 4.
Oh, come on. Get back in here.
Wow, we talk
Okay,
shit about Colton
wait.
Thursday, and everybody fucking leaves us.
Do we still have 4?
We still have 4. We have 4.
They vote you as, what's the name of the group that we're in?
Oh, no, that's not what we're playing.
No, that's the way.
All right, well, Tiger wins. We'll see you guys next week.
No. I need to hear that, because if those 4 people in there say Michael Jordan, then it's.
It is what it is. Yep, they're on the show. So the 4 people that are in the comments, vote your vote.
Right now.
Robbie McGinnis was in here arguing the whole time for Jordan. Never said anything pro. Never said anything pro Tiger.
Okay.
Colton Thursday is in here nutting
He's a
himself
Tiger-
over
Tiger Woods.
Oh,
Tiger
he's been creaming in his pants over the Last Dance and everything. So I'm thinking he's
What?
no, he says Tiger.
Yeah,
All right,
I know
Tiger.
Colton had to go. So
Okay.
that's because
That's
of
2-2,
how
right?
hard,
1-1,
Yeah.
right?
how hard the sport of golf is, how many people
See, everybody
play it.
said baseball's the hardest sport. I think golf's the hardest sport.
Golf is the hardest
I think
sport, but
the very
baseball,
hardest.
the
Baseball's
baseball's
right there. I
And
think
then
baseball,
hockey.
it may be a 1A, 1B type of situation,
Yeah.
honestly.
But then it's
golf
variables-
is 1A.
But the variables in golf change every day.
Exactly.
every
So-
shot.
And I think
What
that's,
else we got? Anybody else? chimed in?
Nobody else is chipping in. So
So we're still
All right,
fucking
so
tied.
Jake
Tiger
McGowan's
Woods
not even
wins.
there.
well, Jake's in Camp Blanding. He's
Yeah.
training this week. Otherwise, he
Oh,
would be
shit.
in here.
So-
I was wondering. I was looking for the car. I was like, I don't think these are Jake McGowan's cars. Where I'm not going to drink today. 'Cause
I don't know where he's at.
he's gonna be like, "Shit, I got one."
yeah. You get in your car, and he's just like,
So
I
Rochambeau it
think
then?
Rochambeau it.
All right. So
All
me,
right.
God
Nick,
damn it, Nick. You go on shoot.
rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
oh shit.
Oh my
here's
God.
the one.
Okay, all right. Here we
Y'all
go.
go?
Best
oh,
of three.
best of 3? Yeah, I like
Oh,
that.
oh,
Rock,
okay.
paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Son of a bitch. Clean sweep.
I told you I am not good at this game.
Me either. I lose every fucking time.
Yeah.
So here we go.
We're putting on for Mike, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, man, we've got a paper. Oh,
Boom!
first one goes to Kyle Wright.
Here we go.
Round 2.
Oh, baby.
It's me versus Kyle.
That's
It's
right.
me versus Kyle.
It is David Hayes in the blue corner, and in the red corner, it is Kyle Wright.
This is dramatic, right? This is
Rock,
dramatic.
paper, scissors, shoot! Tiger's up 1-0. Let's
go.
do this.
Rock,
Paper, scissors, shoot! Yeah! Tigers the go-to goats! Tigers the go-to goats! Tigers the go-to goats!
It's the Right On Sports Show, motherfucker. Don't you forget it.
You better
Rochambeau'd
fucking
your
clip that
ass.
because
Nice.
that's good shit, though.
Nice.
That's good
That's
TV.
awesome.
Not good TV because
That
they
is
wouldn't allow
awesome.
it with all the cuss words.
That's
But it was
fucking great.
entertaining.
Fuck you, FCC.
Oh my God.
Did you just Kyrie Irving the SEC?
Yeah, oh my
No,
God.
you
Did you guys
gotta
see
do it
that
like
last
this.
night?
You got to do it like this.
Kyrie, you suck. Suck my dick, bitch.
Yeah, suck my dick, bitch. Yeah.
Yeah, this guy was in the back of the locker room and he said, "Kyrie, you suck." And Kyrie says, "Suck my dick, bitch." Terrible.
Fucking Kyle.
Go Celtics.
So Tiger Woods is the go-to goats, and I can't wait. What I'm going to
Nice.
do is we're not going to announce it. Thank you, guys.
Delayed gratification there.
You guys. So Tiger's the go-to goats. We're not going to announce it. I'm just going to clip that and put it in there and let people find out like that.
I like it.
And I can't wait for the. I want to make sure Colton Thursday, you're here too.
Yeah, he's already in the bathroom.
When they start fucking grilling us, when they start grilling us for us deciding like that, y'all gotta we gotta get each other's back in these
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm with it.
absolutely. I'm down for it.
Let's do it. Let's start a Facebook war.
850-215-6290, 4 through 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. If y'all got problems with it, just holler at your boiler.
Yeah.
But don't talk the way I've been talking.
Let's do family friendly here on the
We don't
radio.
make any money here, so Dave can't. He can't just come over here and start the same shit. All right. So I think that's it for the go to goats. One more time, just
Great job, guys.
Thank you
all.
guys.
Yes.
For the guys who
Yeah.
put it together, like,
Yeah.
we got to talk about it. We got to piggyback off of it. But what y'all did was
Phenomenal.
uberly
And I'm not going to
impressive.
allow any of this to go by without us shouting out Drew Gorman as well.
Yeah.
Drew Gorman put
Yes.
just as much work into this. Actually put in, just as much, if not more, than most of us, taking time out of his own life. Not that Kyle didn't, because it happened at Angelina's where Kyle was working.
Yeah, it was at my spot at work.
But, you know, Kyle was at work, and Drew actually went to his work to actually discuss this. And, you know, Drew, shout out to you, man. We truly appreciate it.
Drew's
And
a
I hate
hell of
that
a
he
guy.
can't. I can't believe that he's not here.
Drew's a hell of a guy.
Well, who just takes a fucking 19-day trip to Costa Rica during the Go to Goats tournament?
Yeah.
Especially when 420 was yesterday, bro. What's going on?
Yeah, I know.
That's
why
why it was
this
still
show-
420 in Costa Rica.
Yeah,
You got
why
full
not?
disclosure.
Living it
This
up.
show was supposed to be yesterday, but
we
Dave's
couldn't
like,
get David
"Oh,
Hayes."
national holiday, bro.
No, I did not do that, bro. I did not say nothing of the sort. I
he
said,
had a
no,
holiday.
Celtics Nets, man. I'm trying to watch that game. I'm having fun.
All right.
Oh my
Big announcement. Kind of a bummer, but
yeah, I'm not excited for this, and I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
But I got
So-
the feeling earlier.
so we've been talking for a long time, and we actually, ironically enough, this is the show that we envisioned from the beginning. Like
It is funny how all of this has come back around. What we had in our minds once, you know, Marcus kind of started to back out and me and Kyle started to make this our own, and that was having rotational guests, and we're going to go remote. That we've already mentioned that, so that's not a you know, but you know, yeah, we want to have more of a show that kind of goes through more than just sports, where we can all just sit down. I mean, and we
Just
all
shoot the
just
shit.
shoot the shit and talk and do whatever. And each day, yeah, we have like a concept of what we're going to talk about that day. But how today we went from talking about Serena to talking about Andre Agassi to talking about this guy to talking over here, and then it had nothing to do with the question.
that's guy talk.
That's guy talk. I mean, this is how a guy's brain works.
Yes.
This is 4 dudes' brains sitting next to each other, just beating the hell out of each other. And that's how this works. And I love it. Gets heated. Me and Adam were yelling at each other. We were agreeing with each other
By
and
the
yelling
way,
at each
first
other.
time they've met in person.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah,
Chemistry.
So yeah, great.
Wow.
This
And-
I told you this is the show I've wanted
This
from the
is
beginning.
like,
exactly.
This for.
So this
Rock
and
sodium or whatever.
yeah. But yeah, you know, I think we're gonna change. We're gonna we're gonna take a few weeks to discuss some of the things. It's not that that we're not going. This show's not going away. The sports show is.
The sports show's gone.
Yeah,
Right.
the sports show's going away, but it's going to be more of like every week. We're not going to be talking about just sports. We're going to
Yeah.
be talking about different
Sports
things.
are gonna make their appearance. When
Yeah,
they
yeah,
need
I mean,
to,
sports
but
are-
you're
what do
not
dudes
trying
talk
to-
about?
What's current
But
that
exactly,
week, right.
But
exactly.
if there's nothing current that week, like
Right.
then we probably won't even mention sports.
No,
to be
right.
So I
honest.
just need to turn the radio station around because I swear to you right now, like I am digging.
As of right now, we could have had an entire hour and a half discussion right here, right now, with Dan and Brian, as well as Scott,
Yep.
about what happened this past Saturday.
Yeah.
just the things. Like, it was just it was just us 5 guys going out and having a guys' night. Could have been a great discussion about that for an hour and a half.
But you know, like Dave and I, we talked about this several weeks ago, where when we do the radio show on 104.3, it's so sports driven. But like if you listen to all of these sports shows, like Dan Patrick, Colin Cowherd to a certain extent, Greeny, like they don't just talk sports the
Right.
entire fucking time. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And it's not knocking your show. Like, I love your show.
yeah.
I'm thankful to be a part of it, but like there's other things that need to be discussed. And
That's why I
and-
throw questions in there like, would you rather take a punch from Mike Tyson or a
Right.
kick from GSP?
Yeah.
It's sports related, but it has nothing to do
Joe
with
Rogan
sports.
could have been in there. A kick from Joe Rogan.
right.
Oh my God! I'll
God.
take the
But-
punch from Mike.
But that's what I'm saying. But like, I mean, that's the kind of shit that people are, they gravitate toward, right? So I think I'm digging the idea.
Yeah, because obviously we're going to talk about my Atlanta Braves. Obviously, we're going to talk about his Cincinnati Reds. Obviously, we're going to talk Florida State. We're going to talk Alabama games. We're going to talk Dolphins. We're going to talk that stuff. But you're trying to put 45 minutes worth of content out for 4 people to listen to, and it's all strictly about sports. Where right now, look, we live in a very unique city. Very unique city that has people from all over the world that come to visit and come to stay here and live here, and no jobs. Something that we love to talk about. The fact that I still have people, and they make very good money working in restaurants. Very good money. But There's no like the paper mill just closed down.
Yep.
What the hell?
Yeah.
You know, like
But it was
I mean,
it was good to see that everybody else jumping in, all these larger corporations saying, "Hey, we'll take you guys on."
right. See, but
You got to
I
leave
think-
Panama
good.
City.
But you got to leave Panama City for an 18. Yeah, see, they say that. My dad works at the paper mill. My uncle works at the paper mill. My great uncle and aunt both retired from there. Oh, I mean,
family
my whole
tradition.
yeah, exactly. Everybody
Oh,
went
we're
to the paper
demonetized.
mill. Yeah, but it's stuff like that. Yeah, those companies came in and said that, but they were only offering like $15 an hour.
Yeah.
and they had to move. To like Texas and Tennessee and all this other, you're like, I'm not moving for this crap,
Right.
You know, yeah, and then
Kind of a social media facade.
yeah, exactly. They all wanted to look good, but they weren't offering anything.
Gotcha.
And it wasn't full-time employment. Like it was only like, oh, we can get you on your feet for a little while. But they got everybody like somebody who didn't know.
Kyle's hating life
kinda-
right now. He's like, I got a whole nother podcast to do.
No. This is what I love to do. This is this is why we started the whole thing. But to get on the negative side of it, like we started this whole thing as the LLC says, Right On Podcast Network.
Yep.
So we got into this idea. Now, this is the bad news of the whole thing. We're going to be back. We're going to be all together still. It's going to be me, Nick, and Drew. It might be me, Nick, and you sometimes.
Yeah,
it's going to be remote.
Let's
We're
go
not going
sports
to
I want
Fuck
him on
Adam.
too.
I want
Yes.
this.
Say, fuck Adam because I was
Yeah.
not involved in that.
No, well, I'm just, but that's the beauty of it. If Nick's out of town, I'm going to be able to go, well, shit, let me run Kyle, Adam, and Brian Bassett, who doesn't watch a lick of sports, but we can have a conversation about anything because we're all heavily interested in politics. We're all heavily interested in just non-political things like that are
Movies,
going on in the
TV
world.
shows.
Movies, TV,
Right.
Do not
everything.
ask me to come in for movies or TV
No,
shows because
but-
I suck at that.
But on a,
I mean, we thought about.
I was just.
but it's
but we
going to
thought
be a
about doing-
podcast. We're not going to be live.
Yeah, it's all going to be podcast driven, and but we
No
we
more
also
Facebook Live though.
the-
Because that
nope.
was kind of one of my.
No.
favorite. I loved
The-
being able to tune in when I got home till my phone died. Like I would just. I would come
it's
home
kinda-
and watch y'all.
The reason for that is because we're not going to get monetized for Facebook.
Yeah.
We're just not. We had this argument with
Yeah.
somebody. It's not going to happen. We're not going to get monetized through Facebook. These 5 views right now would be better if I had 5 listens on Spotify.
Yeah.
It would absolutely be
Or 5
better.
watches on YouTube.
Or 5
Or
watches
5
on
well,
YouTube.
yeah, exactly.
So the YouTube channel is going to end up being only
Put your podcast on Pornhub.
dude, I make great moaning noises.
I know.
Oh yeah.
Is that your O face there?
And we're already off into the next
Yeah,
generation
exactly.
of the Right On Show.
Nah, just be on the lookout. We are gonna next week. By the way, not tonight. Next Wednesday is our last show for a little while. I don't know how long it's gonna take. We're gonna rebrand. We're gonna come back with a whole new look, a new logo, a new show name. But it's gonna be more centric to the network. It's gonna be a podcast. It's gonna be. They do video podcasts now, so we might be able to look into something to where we could still screen record what we're doing and put it on Spotify to where we are getting a view and a listen. And the same thing, you're still going to be able to see us. The live thing, it's great. It's absolutely awesome. I love reading the comments. It's going to suck to lose that.
Yeah.
But
Because it's an element, but
and I think the biggest problem, and I don't mean anything bad. I love everybody that's here every week, but it's the same people every week. We haven't hit that next level of.
Oh,
all right,
who's that?
Who's that?
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
We have
Like,
Get
it
your
felt like-
fucking friends and family watching. How about that?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, but let's spread some love.
Right.
But I think that's more likely to happen if we're not live.
Yeah.
Because the people that are listening, those are going to be hardcore.
Yeah.
Those are going to be people like, hey, you need to listen to my buddies. You guys got to get my buddies in. And I think that's where we're going to go from here, to where the only video content will be Nerd Culture Undisputed and maybe Right On reviews whenever
Yeah, we're still going to do our reviews of like.
Reds, right? That keeps you involved in.
That's a podcast.
Yeah.
But it still keeps us involved
still
more in
Right On
sports as
Network,
well.
right?
Yeah,
We
it's
want to
still-
have
yeah.
more specific based, but like I'd love somebody to do an Atlanta Braves.
I'm trying to get my
podcast.
wife to do it with me.
Maybe
we watch
Paul-
all
Dude,
those
you
games
and
together.
Jess
That would
would
be
actually
awesome.
do really good.
She won't. She keeps telling me no, but I'm
Well,
going
we're
to
3
continue
weeks
to work
into the
with her.
season.
And
I would love to get one going. I'm just- you know what I mean?
I thought you were saying
No.
like, well, not now, but
No,
I mean,
I'm saying like we're 3
I'm gonna
weeks
keep
in,
working. I'm gonna keep working with her. I
Maybe
gotta
Colton
get her.
Thursday. Maybe Colton.
He and him argue a lot, so
Yeah,
that'd be great.
That would be
That would
right.
be good.
I have a feeling if we started talking Braves, we would just be like, "Yep, you're right."
Yeah,
Yep, you're right.
You are right.
Really? You want to
Yeah,
get
and-
people?
and
Me and
that's
Colton
kind of
might
the-
actually disagree on a bunch of stuff.
That's
That's
kind of
what's
the
good about
beauty
our
of
podcast.
our podcast is like, he sees things one way and then I see things another way. He's the young one that's, just
This is
Pull
all
it.
bullshit.
vitriol, just spitting venom, right? And I'm like, whoa,
And he's
whoa,
like, no, our season
I'm mad
is built
too.
on hope, bro.
But I'm like, hey, it's shit now, but
In
let's give it
15
some
years,
time.
we'll be good.
No, but let's
I
give
mean-
it some time. But, like, I'm still angry.
Decade and a
I'm
half.
Right.
fucking pissed, but like let's slow our roll here. So
If
it's
it
just-
wasn't
just
the
only
Reds,
like that
I would
because-
slow my roll, but I have no reason to believe that they're not going to trade Hunter Green in 2 years.
No.
I have no reason to
he's
think
gonna be a
let me
Yankee
tell
or
you.
a Brave. here in
Yeah.
like 2
If
years.
y'all would have never had, was it Pat Sajak?
John Sadak.
John Sadak. If
John
y'all
Sadak.
would have never.
Pat Sajak, the Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, exactly. I was talking Will Ford. If y'all would have never had the Reds broadcaster on the line with y'all, he would have gave up on the season. But he's like, no, I talked
No,
to the
not at all.
broadcaster. Yeah, no, I've talked to you before this. You gave up. Right, you
Not
said
at all.
as soon as Winker left, you was like, that's it, man. This season's gonna be a Winker. We're gonna blink and it's all gonna be gone.
He hit
not
into a
what I said
triple
at
play
all.
last night.
such a good saying. Oh, we winkered.
We winkered out.
We got
Winker
winkered.
hit
never
into a
did say
triple
that.
play yesterday.
Yeah,
He
he
has
did.
hope and he has faith, y'all. He has hope and faith.
No, but the show's going to be more along the lines of like, I mean, hell, something that I hold near and dear to my heart is finances. I'm not saying that like I'm like the best. I'm not like an accountant or anything
You have
like that.
you, Marcus, and Drew?
I mean,
or Dan? You,
yeah.
Marcus, and Dan
Well,
on finance?
because Marcus is an accountant.
Yeah.
And Dan is going to school for business. And like, I think he works in a bank and stuff like that. So it'd be like cool to talk about
So he has
finances.
access to a lot of money.
Yeah, so
Imagine-
exactly. So
imagine
we're going
a-
to steal some stuff.
So let's take a
But-
boring finance conversation, but put people with the fucking personalities of Dan, Marcus, and Nick on it. That's going to fucking slap.
Right. So,
Like
I mean,
Will
it's
Smith.
Yeah,
like-
yeah, exactly.
My wife's name.
But yeah, it's just going to be a wide variety of different things. Like it'll be a rolling cast. It'll be obviously we're going to talk sports. That's going to happen. I
It's
mean,
good,
me
yeah.
and Kyle will talk on the phone. We talk personal. We do our thing, whatever. And then all of a sudden, he's like, "Dude, did you see this or did you see that or whatever?" And that's just our personal conversations.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be more. I mean, it's going to be kind of loosely based around what you've done at Lisenby's Lodge. Lisenby Lodge, yeah.
That's
like,
a big shout out to my dog Terry though, because he just has these crazy ass questions off the wall.
Yeah.
Like because we'll talk. What's so crazy about when we were doing that on a consistent basis is we would spend more time out on my porch talking about what we were gonna talk about, and then we would get in.
and not even talk about it.
And we would just be like stuck on sports. And I'm like, guys, do y'all realize if we talked about like what you guys are saying, like some of these other things, because we're having thoughts that no one else is like when you talk sports, even if it's your own thought, someone has recreated that in some
Sure.
sort or sense or fashion.
We didn't say anything today that wasn't any
That
different than
hasn't been said
anyone else
before.
has ever said.
Right.
I mean, it's the exact same
but if
stuff
you get
that
on
everybody else
finances,
has. Exactly.
like you're probably gonna replicate what someone else has said, but not intentionally.
Sure.
And if you come with a different personality, it's just gonna be a whole.
It's gonna resonate
it's gonna be a
differently.
Right,
whole
right,
vibe.
right. And you
I'm
know,
excited for it.
yeah,
to
so
be honest.
it's just going to be different. I mean, it's definitely going to be different. Like obviously, we're going to want, Kyle and get two people that have 2 and 3 year olds to talk about how hell boys are at 3 years old. I mean, we're sitting outside at our. I was doing a small group outside as before I walked in, and they were praying at the very end of it, and I'm sitting there listening. I was on a conference call, and I'm listening to it, and Carson runs up to me and starts yelling, saying so. I don't even remember what he was trying to say, and I was like, "Shh, shh, shh! Just give me a minute." And he was like, just keeps yelling and yelling, and I was like, "Hey, we're praying." He was like, "Praying about what?" And just keeps yelling about praying, and I'm like, "Go over there," like trying to not let them see my face as I'm busting out laughing. Why is your hat on the ground? Why is your hat on the ground? I was like, "Oh my god."
That kid is funny, man. We had a blast before the show.
Yeah,
bro.
he's-
Carson
oh, yeah.
is-
He's a cool kid,
entertainment.
man.
He moved.
He gets it from his daddy, right?
Yeah, he moved about 3 feet, and it took him about, I don't know, 6 seconds with that little Tonka truck outside. And he was like, "You see that? You see how fast I am?" I was like, "Yeah, dude, I saw it."
blazing speed, man.
Yeah.
The joy of being a parent is it's just undescribable.
Wouldn't that be a dope concept as well? And these are all like the same. We're not talking about different
Dude.
podcasts here. We're talking about the same
it's
thing.
the same
It's just going to be
podcast.
something different, and every episode
What
is
if-
going to be something different based on something like that. You
What
have
if
three
it's
parents.
not 3 men that have? What if it's 2 couples that both have kids, or a couple that has
You're asking
kids
for trouble.
related? Really? Maybe me and Rachel do a podcast with you and Jess, and we compare lives that like and having kids. Not
Yeah,
having
y'all.
kids.
Oh, I like that.
Really? I'm just
Okay,
saying,
I
That
like
is
that.
interesting,
Oh,
though.
yeah.
It's
Where-
not.
Yeah.
It's
You know
not
what this
We're like,
reminds me of, honestly? And
If you name another podcast, I'm slapping the shit out of you. Okay.
I will slap your.
fucking Seinfeld, right? The show about nothing,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Based
like,
on his-
there's
yeah.
Show about
you're-
nothing would be a great like title, not a title for the podcast, but a great like title.
like a
What you could
byline
call
or
it?
whatever.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah,
you could
I
call
mean,
it? Sun. Show. Oh no.
Show of nothing?
Never mind. Yeah,
Yeah.
show of nothing.
Say
Never
on.
mind. I
But no,
came
it's-
close, but I
that's
was
what
so
it-
far away.
But that's what it reminds me of, is
Sand.
because like that, it just runs the gamut of life. That entire show did, right?
Yep.
And it was
Show of
funny. It was
nothing.
entertaining.
Show of nothing. Son.
So like, I think that would, I think that's a pretty good, pretty good comp there.
I like it. No, I think it's, and that's kind of what we've always envisioned. But things have changed. Things differ from the way that you originally thought it. Like, our original baby was nerd culture,
Yeah.
and it was not supposed to be what it is now. Even though you guys do a great job on what it is now.
Yeah.
But
huge nerd alert.
yeah.
Yeah.
But-
Thank God I found you. Like,
yeah, because it was starting to crumble, and it started out, and it wasn't supposed to be like that. It was supposed to be a different concept. It wasn't supposed to be so much questions. It was supposed to be more theories, and it was supposed to be like with alcoholic beverages involved.
Yeah, the whole
And-
concept of it was to start a show called Tipsy Theories, where we almost did like a Hot Ones kind of thing, but we got more and more drunk as we kept talking, and it ended up with Batman fighting fucking Darth Vader. And
Not good for my health, but good for entertainment.
That's
I would
what we
enjoy
thought
that.
about, and
Tipsy
it
theories.
just kind of we couldn't ever get
Materialize
it.
it.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it was like, okay, so how often do you do it? I don't want to be drunk every Saturday. So do you do it every 2 weeks?
Right.
I don't know if I want to be that drunk every 2 weeks. I mean,
Sign
you
me
know,
up
so
every day. Let's go.
so then
Let's run it.
So then it becomes once a month, and it becomes a thing like.
But then you have lives in general too. So
Right.
now you're like, I'm telling my wife, he's telling his wife, yeah, I can't do anything that
I gotta
Saturday
go get
'cause I gotta
absolutely
go
fucked
and
up on a
hammered. Yeah,
Saturday
and
night.
I'm not gonna be at home because I'm gonna be at Nick's. 'Cause
Yeah,
it was gonna be at my
yeah.
house.
What if
Right.
you just take a couple shots and then you like after the first little bit?
So
or
Jake
whatever,
McGowan
then
can
you're-
take us home.
No,
Dude, that
no,
would've
no,
been a
no,
good
no,
one. He
no.
could
What
have,
I'm getting
given
at-
us a ride
What
home.
I'm getting at is like
Back of
start
the
off,
Cop Car
you know,
podcast.
like just when you actually get on the show, if you want to drink a little bit to be able to, like look like you're drunk or whatever, but then after that, just put like water
in there.
Yeah, like don't actually
Coyote
get that
Ugly that shit. Right.
drunk.
We were
because
gonna go
honestly,
full
you're not-
fledged.
Yeah,
we were gonna go full fledged.
not
That's
gonna
what
be
we.
able to
Yeah.
last like
What would be
that.
cool,
You're
though?
gonna be
What
on
would
there
be
going
cool,
like,
though?
you are,
Is if you
Yeah.
could
go,
Just do it.
What'd be cool though is if you continue the podcast or the live shot through the body cam footage of the police officer.
Every week we're getting
My
arrested.
stream deck's
every
not
single
working.
week.
My stream deck's not working, Mr. Officer. Let me plug this USB
Oh,
in.
I'm on your utility belt there. That's
Yeah, that's where
my
that's
bad.
coming from.
Say hi to Asa for shitface.
Nah, it's just we also like unceremoniously kind of got dumped on our asses a few months ago,
Yep.
and I mean no disrespect to Chris or
Right.
the situation that he went through, but we never predicted that we were going to be number one out of our Bose studio, which every single one of us had access to 24/7,
Right.
round the clock,
Yeah.
anytime. Even if we were having a bad day at home, you could fucking roll up to the studio at 2 a.m. Nobody's going to say shit. Like we all had access to that. If I was out of town, they could show up. If he was out of town, I could show up. So we tried to move it to his house. It didn't work. We tried to move it here. Works a little better, but still doesn't really work because it's fucking 40 minutes out of my way, 40 minutes out of his way, 30 minutes out of Drew's way. And so it's just kind of
27 minutes out of my way.
it just kind of becomes a situation where we have no choice but to look at something to where the only way that this that the Right On Network can continue
And be feasible.
and be feasible and not disband, because we don't want to get rid of this idea, but we kind of, it's a weird thing. We kind of have to reel ourselves back to step one.
Yep.
You know how authentic this conversation is? None of us are worried about, like, we're talking to each other right now. We're absolutely no worries about y'all or anything. Love y'all. Thanks for, like, participating. But all of this conversation was an announcement to let them know. And then it's turned into, like,
I'm glad that's
This is
out there,
where we're
though.
gonna
If
go.
somebody does come back and watch this, they'll have a better understanding of
way better.
how hard this is.
How real.
Logistically speaking, right?
As great as this is, sometimes it sucks.
If we were 18 and just fresh out of high school,
Right.
Sure.
yeah, this is easy money. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But outside of that, regardless, like, being married is one step up. Having a kid is a whole nother step up. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are things that if you're not living it, you don't understand it. And then to try to balance a job, because first off, that's what we all have in here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Secondly,
Jobs with different schedules.
Yeah, jobs with different schedules. I mean, like, you guys know, for those of you out there who do live the life of married, have kids or whatever, tell me how often you get to play golf with your buddies. Picture that with what we have going on here.
We played back in January, and yesterday was the first time I've played since.
And I
Tell
can't
me
play.
that
I
score.
can't play on a Wednesday.
On a Wednesday,
You
right.
know, so it's like one of those. Like you really
Right.
One thing
everything
I
is different.
One thing I have been thinking about, and this is highly irrelevant to the podcast, but I would like to create like a best ball tournament. Like, it doesn't have to be a shitload of teams or whatever, but a best ball tournament of teams of 2 or even teams of 4. That would be kind of fun. Like, if it wasn't, we're not playing against studs out there. We're just playing against people who play golf.
Go to
Go out
Sunny
there.
Hills, yeah.
Well, we'd
you
have
can go
to
Sunny
rent
Hills,
out-
but you
you'd
could
have
also
to-
do the cheap one over there in Lynn Haven.
Nature Walk, the
I
par
live
3.
I'm right across the street from it, really. Not right across the street. I'm right across Transmitter.
Right,
Or
right.
Right across 231 off Transmitter off Game Farm. So I'm right up there.
But you moved?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm right
Well,
up
Got a
congrats.
brand new house, man. It's nice.
Nice.
Yeah,
Very
dude, I look
nice.
like you.
Yeah.
Actually, not as nice as you.
Ask
Not
him
as
about
nice
his
as
tree.
you.
Ask him about his tree. He's very proud of his tree.
Well,
You planted a tree?
No, I didn't plan it. It came with it, but it got.
I wasn't fucking buying it if it didn't.
No, it was a baby. And like one night we had one of them high wind nights or whatever, and I came out and it was just laid all the way over. So now I got it tied up. In
Hey,
three
there you
different
go.
spots or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, there you
but
go.
I'm like, and now that thing is it's
yeah.
going, but
I have
I
one
ain't,
tree.
I ain't at the level that you're at. But
Oh,
like,
come on now.
you're the benchmark. You're the benchmark, and I'm just like
No,
one
no.
day I'll be at Nick Gurley's stat.
So much
Nah.
love in the studio tonight.
I know, but
So much love in the
Go
studio.
ahead and do it. I'll switch the cameras.
No.
Me or you this time.
No, but yeah, I just think this concept is going to work, and it's going to be more close to what, and especially like right now, I could name a name in sports and you would know it, and you would know what sport, you would know everything. Me and Kyle aren't like that anymore. Like, I mean,
So
I'm
it's
not.
more fun to go the opposite. Like,
Exactly.
talk about what you love. Because if
Exactly.
you're not
He
talking
came-
about what you love, what's the point?
He had a guy come in today talking about Miguel Cabrera got walked intentionally on his last at bat today. And I
What
was
a
like,
dick.
Yeah, what a dick move, by the way. But I'm like, oh, I didn't even know the Yankees and Tigers were playing yet. I wanted to watch that. But I didn't have the desire in my body to go set a reminder that game was starting.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Dude, I haven't watched a single game of baseball outside of unless the Atlanta
Atlanta
Braves were
Braves.
playing.
I've only watched
I've
2
watched
Reds
every
games.
single inning of the Braves this
Mostly
year.
'cause of
my
work
God.
schedule.
Outside of when
Yeah.
I was sick. Outside of when I was sick, I tried my hardest to stay up.
Oh
or
yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
but
yeah.
Last
Yeah,
year,
see, mine is like when they're on the West Coast. Like this last week, I haven't been able to watch.
That's
I
it.
like
got
the Reds are on the West
monitor
Coast
the
too,
radio.
so-
So,
yeah,
Oh,
we're-
okay.
we're coming
but
back
I have to
from
go
the-
to sleep. Like
yeah,
I mean,
no,
so-
yeah. You gotta. What do you wake up? 4:30 in the morning.
Just depends. Sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 4.
I said,
it just depends.
What do you wake up? 5? No,
Yeah,
like a little bit after
Yeah.
midnight.
It just depends. It depends on what I'm doing throughout the day. You know,
can
if
tell me
I have
shut my
to.
lazy ass up, it's okay.
No.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna cut this. We're just gonna cut it a little short here at 2 hours and 8 minutes.
Is this the longest one? Like your last
I think
one was
so.
your longest one?
I think. I mean, and if you're not counting the draft episode, absolutely, because that was about 4 hours of content. That was absolutely fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, it was
I wish
fun.
that we had the Wish we had. What am I looking for? Not the material. I wish we had the resources
Resources, yeah.
to replicate what we did for the draft last year because that was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, because we were talking about Wednesday. And I was like, dude, why don't we do Thursday and do the same thing? End it on the big day on draft day, and we just can't figure out.
I don't know
One more?
I don't know how to do it.
We can't figure out how
what
to
is it?
how to get the
We don't need to
audio.
talk about this on live. Let's go ahead and
We'll cut it. We'll cut it.
Colton Thursday, I love you. Message me on Facebook if you want to do a Braves podcast.
Ended
You
this
let me
with
know.
4, by the way. We never got below that 4. They were all here for that whole conversation.
Message me if you're down.
Yeah,
guys
hey,
are
Colton.
awesome.
Braves
Well, this was a lot
podcast.
of
Because I'm
fun,
sure
guys.
you're for Freddie Freeman. I say fuck Freddie.
Fuck you, Freddie.
I've turned away. Totally
You got the
on
outro
that.
song ready?
Yep.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
All right. We love you.
Thanks for listening to the Right On Sports Show. Find the podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Or find the guys on YouTube at Right On Sports and hit that subscribe button to be notified when they go live. In the meantime, check them out on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Right On Sports.